Welcome back, episode 4. Thanks for all the love and the support. Internationally, we got some viewers in France.
Oh, appreciate
so thanks
that.
for y'all support
International
there.
crowd,
Absolutely.
Yeah. Solid.
Thanks for all the you said salute.
Solid.
Thanks for all the friends and family showing love as well. We got some good topics for y'all today, so we're ready to hop in. As always, I'm your host, Chris.
Host Andre.
Larry, host.
Absolutely. So good topic of discussion to start off for today. We got another shout out as well, a very special shout out.
Oh, yeah. Actually, absolutely appreciate Bobo coming up with a great idea, great concept. What we're going to do today is all pick our favorite starting NBA 5. So essentially we got 3 great teams. Chris, you know about it, man. I'll toss it up to you. Let you start out.
Absolutely. Appreciate that, brother. So our teams that we're going to be going over today are the 1995-1996 Bulls. A little quick background on them. They were 72-10. Obviously, they won the NBA championship. And then we have the 2011-2012 Miami Heat. Great team, 46-20. And then you have the 2017-2018 Warriors, 58-24. So if you can mix it a couple of different ways for each team. I guess my best team would be the 95-96 Bulls. But if you can compare each team, it's top 5. So 95-96 Bulls compared to the 2011-2012 Heat. I have MJ, and then you have LeBron, and then you have D-Wade, and then I have Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman. Sorry, Chris Bosh did not make the cut on that. 2017-2018 Warriors compared to the 95-96 Bulls. I'm giving that edge to, again, MJ, KD or Steph, depending on what you like. You might be able to, move those two around. But I'm going to go with KD as my number 2, only because he is a huge reason why the Warriors won that championship. And they kind of canceled each other out, right? So MJ, KD, Steph, or you could go with Scottie too as well, right? Because of the defense. And then you have Dennis Rodman. So that's who I have rounding out mine. But I'm giving the edge to the 95-96 Bulls for sure.
Okay, that's a take on it. That's a solid take. I'll give you that. Larry, what you got? What ideas you got here?
So I'm looking at my notes. I didn't really take many notes, just to be straight up forward, because I feel like it was an easy win, bro. Like, I'm taking 17 Warriors, man. I think you take a 70. Was it 73?
No, they were 58-24.
58? No, the Warriors.
2017,
No,
2018
16.
Warriors?
Give me what in 16, what was the record?
They were 73-9, but the teams are only the 2017, 2018 Warriors.
I got you. Now I'm understanding. So you said 73-9? 73-9?
Yeah, 2016.
Okay, so you take a 73-9 team, subtract Harrison Barnes, give me Kevin Durant. I'm taking that team every day. I mean, you got the best postseason record, 16-1, so you lose one game within the postseason. I think overall, first team I've seen where they got a unanimous MVP, and they got another MVP in Kevin Durant, Defensive Player of the Year with Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, one of the best shooters that I've seen, especially coming off the ball, and I got a playmaker with Draymond Green as well. So I think that squad alone is the best squad that I've seen. I like the depth lineup, so I like them when they go small. I also got a nice 6-man coming off with Andre Iguodala, who's a great defensive player.
Iggy.
I can switch him. I can switch him however you want to switch him. And I just feel like overall, man, I don't see that team going against a 7-footer that can pull up from 30 with the skills of a guard and just beast mentality. And you got Steph Curry, you got to hold him from half court. So that's the best lineup I ever seen, bro. I think for me that was an easy one. That's why I didn't really have to take many notes on it. It was an easy go for me.
I see, and I had to agree with Larry, actually. And it surprised me. I had to sit there and look at it a little while. But once I pulled up that starting 5, it was a no-brainer, bro. It was a no-brainer. I'm talking about, let's go ahead and just knock the Heat off here completely. Because Mario Chambers and a wash weight at this point is not going to – it's just not going to cut it. They just don't make it. So we're down to the Bulls. We get a lot of, good information because we're watching The Last Dance right now, too. So you can put it in perspective. So you got the Bulls and the Warriors. This is basically what happens. Out of all 3 of those teams, get rid of the centers because none of them had a dominant center. So we take that position out completely, right? So you essentially got 4 players, right? And the issue is, look, Steve Kerr, he just ain't elite like the rest of them. That's what you're lacking from the Bulls because Curry, Thompson, Durant, and with Draymond as like a role player, Jordan, Pippen, and Rodman just can't keep up. It's 3 versus 4 essentially. And the issue is if the Bulls have problems with the Jazz that had Hornacek, Stockton, and Malone, This Warrior team would just give them nightmares. Nightmares. I'm talking about the Bulls might walk away 7-game series, 1, maybe 2 points if Jordan's putting up like 60. Yeah, that's it. It's Warriors all day.
Gotcha. So I kind of felt like it was going to go this way. So I had some reinforcements to kind of validate my point a little bit more. Tony Kukoc in 95-96 was the sixth man of the year, right? Let's not move away from that because that's super important. Having a solid sixth man coming off the bench. He won sixth man of the year in 95-96, and there was some hoopers back then, right? The only thing I have is KD. I get the whole 7-foot part, but Scottie Pippen will get that man the fits on defense. I promise you he will. And I promise you he will. And then KD's not known for playing defense either. So let's be very, very clear about that part. And then Michael Jordan is going to put the clamps on Steph Curry. I don't care who, that right there. You don't think he will?
How are you going to stop somebody from shooting between
Jordan
the 3-point?
the clamps on Steph Curry?
Not behind 3-point arc. All he has to do is touch the ball and shoot. Have you seen his release?
You can put Scottie Pippen on Steph Curry full court.
Have you seen
How
that boy's
many
release? The
places
thing is, what's so difficult about Curry is Curry never stops moving on the play. So he'll start up top. He'll be over in the corner. Next thing, he never gives up. And all he has to do is touch that ball, and it's like an instant release. Like his shooting is almost perfect.
But I'm saying you're playing against one of the best defenders ever.
Who?
Scottie Pippen
player?
and Jordan. Both, really.
Yeah.
Like Steph Curry against the Heat, who's guarding him?
But so defense I understand, but the offensive, the Bulls not going to be able to keep up with the offensive output.
Okay, so then the other variable would be is what rules are we playing with? Because the Warriors benefit tremendously from the way the rules and the game is played today. Tremendously.
So
the
do
floor
the Bulls.
spacing is way more. No, the floor spacing is way more than it was in 95-96. The fouls and the way they call fouls is completely different, right? So then if you're playing the Warriors against the 1995-96 Bulls in 2017-2018, the Warriors are going to win probably 10 times out of 10. If you're playing against the Bulls in 95-96 against the Warriors back then, the Bulls are going to win. Period. Because of the way the game is played and because of the rules, right? Steph Curry is not getting all those open shots. Jordan and Pippen put him on his ass every single time. And Jordan, I can guarantee you, and watching this documentary, we know how intense he is. He's like, put that motherfucker on the ground. He ain't shooting no more 3-pointers from 30 foot.
So I agree, like to a certain space with the way the game was played, but essentially the way I'm looking at it is we're playing the game from today. We just got to look at the way the game is played today. It may be not fair.
That's always
or whatever
to the
it is,
disadvantage of
but
the
the whole
older
thing
team,
is it's evolved. Everything evolves after a certain point, right? So I'm just looking at it from current perspective.
The game is softer than it is.
It is
today
softer
than it
today.
was,
But you don't forget Jordan. I remember watching Jordan, and some people dislike Jordan because he got so many calls. Like Jordan, like it was almost like the refs were favorable towards him. Like they always looked out for MJ. So with that being said, I gotta I'm not saying you're wrong. Like you know,
everybody's
it's
absolutely. It's
plausible.
fair for sure.
I'm just feeling like if I had these two teams playing as of today, and my life was on the line, and I needed to pick a winner, I gotta take that strong four from the Golden State.
So I mean, those rules today will always pay to the advantage of the teams that are used to playing in that system and in that type of way of playing. So that's just the tough part about it. Is because again, like I said, the floor spacing is so much different now than it was in 95-96, right? And so like 95-96, you getting trapped quickly and they putting some hands on you. You can't touch nobody. I mean, kind of to the point we were talking about the other day, and I made a point about James Harden, and he'll come up later in this conversation that, you know, James Harden's not averaging 35 points in 1995-96 because he gets on the foul line so much. He's not going to be able to get as many free throws as he does now then because of the way the game is played. Because of the floor spacing, it's so much more beneficial for him to be able to get all those 3-point shots off. That's why he shoots so much.
Yeah.
So
I would say I definitely agree with a lot of the points that Chris is making. I just see from that potential, like from that actual like era, I see that back then, I feel like a lot of the rules kind of benefited the Bulls too, because I feel like a lot of their strong defensive play was because of hand checking, right? They had the ability to hand check, so pretty much they can guide the offensive player wherever they want to take them, right? At this point, that's a reach and foul, bro. Like you're reaching in. Also, a lot of the times on defense, they didn't really incorporate zone defense as much as they do now. So I feel like with that being said, I just don't see it. Like I think a lot of like old heads will say, bro, if you incorporate shooting, it don't matter. It does not matter what time frame I put you in. If I could shoot from 30, I can shoot from 40. I could do that any time frame.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like me putting the pressure on you of like just coming past half court and being a threat, and then having this 7-footer over here. Safe to say, man, like I love LeBron. I just love basketball in general, but I just don't see nobody stopping KD, bro. I've never seen KD stop. Like I've seen him kind of contained in a sense, but 7 foot with that handle, bro, and that range, I just don't see it. But then on the back end too, when you were saying about like the depth of like the bench, I got Andre Iguodala, but I also got the mid-range GOAT. What's his name coming off the bench? Like the Sean Livingston coming in. Yeah. Sean Livingston coming in 2. He ain't shooting no threes for shit, but he definitely gonna come with some with a few 2-pointers. And then also I got Looney. Looney's also a good rim protector. We've seen him through.
Wasn't he a rookie that year?
Looney,
he was a rookie in 2017, 2018, wasn't he?
I don't know if he was
Yeah,
a
I
rookie.
think he
was.
Yeah. I don't know if he was rookie or not, but overall I got Looney. I feel like Looney's been a great scrap, go for the ball type player. I'm not gonna say he's definitely not gonna be able to stop what Rodman's doing, but I think as far as rim protection, he's okay. But I just see them having like going small. I don't see those bigs coming out being able to keep up with them, bro.
I don't know. I mean, I get it, but I'm just saying. I just think if you play that game in 2017, 2018, the Warriors are going to win all the time. I don't know.
What's your I definitely see your point of view. If they're playing in the 95, 96 era, what do you see a 7-game series going to?
It'll go 7 games, but the Bulls will win for sure. Okay. I think the series will almost go 6 to 7 games every single time, right? Regardless of error. It's just the floor spacing. Like the floor spacing is crazy. That's the reason why teams score so much. That's the reason why the Warriors get so many shots off. Like if you're playing in 95, 96, like KD or Steph or Klay Thompson, they getting fucking trapped at half court, bro. Jordan and Scottie Pippen coming at you full speed, trapping you at half court. You not getting out of that shit.
But the thing is you can pass it off and like essentially the other two has handles. Like
they're great handles. Klay Thompson's not known for dribbling. He's a spot shooter. So who you talking about?
KD definitely has handles.
KD or Steph? Because they're the only
KD
two people
and
on the team
Steph
that can really
has
dribble
crazy
like
handles. Yeah, no one's doubting that. Yeah,
but you could put Rodman on whoever else. Rodman's good defense, right?
Rodman is definitely good defense.
Absolutely.
But my thing is though, I know he said earlier take out the center. Because you got to think about it. One of the things that makes the Warriors great, and why a lot of teams emulate their play style, is because when they go small, what center is going to be able to keep up? Who you got? I mean, at that point, who is it? Longley?
Luke Longley, yeah.
Luke Longley.
Who is Luke Longley going to be able to keep up with, bro?
Is that team really a true small team though?
They're the beginning of going small. I mean, I can take the depth lineup. I can take out my big. I can put Andre in there and put Draymond at the 5, which is when they win. They've been effective like that. Then, like I said about the scoring output, you got this whole like however many seconds or less. We coming up putting up shots, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care what decade you put us in, as long as that 3-point line there, you're not keeping up. Jordan, the output that I'm putting out offensively, I don't care what you do defense, you're not keeping up. And to be honest, in this era, I don't think Scottie Pippen is a effective scorer as he was back then. So then
if that's the case, then if Steph Curry can score 95, 96, why can't Pippen score now?
Well, because I think offensively, Steph Curry is on a whole nother level than Scottie Pippen is.
For sure, right? Because of the 3-pointers.
Primarily
because of the 3-pointers, right?
Mainly just shooting in general. I mean, I can come off a screen. I have a handle to where I can pick up the ball, go wherever. I mean, we just got so many options versus Pippen is pure he got a decent mid-range penetration.
And that's all the Bulls really have is 2 scores. They really just got Jordan and Pippen.
Tony Kukoc was putting up buckets
too. Coming off the bench, yeah.
But he was the 6th man of the year, bro.
But Tony Kukoc don't have a Finals MVP. My 6th man got a Finals MVP. He's proven. He's clutch, and he got great clamps. Andre Iguodala.
Yeah, Iggy's nice. Nah, don't do that.
He's proven,
right,
bro.
He's decent, bro. Come on now. Why can't he get a job?
Right now, he's old.
Yeah,
bro, he's decent.
He's old.
What do you mean? Because he's old.
Wait, no. Actually, he was on Memphis. He just didn't want to play. They're mad at Andre Iguodala because he don't want to play.
Yeah, because he's spoiled, bro.
Hey man,
I mean, that's
I don't have time for a
whole
rebuild.
Finals
though.
MVP shit. He should have never won that, bro. You know that.
Hey,
all right,
when
so
you go
no
LeBron,
one's here to
you
change
just-
somebody else's mind, but I think everyone has valid
For
points.
sure,
on this.
For sure, for sure.
It's a fun
Great,
conversation.
great topic, bro. Good segment.
What y'all want to talk about next? We got some great topics.
What
for
we
today.
got?
What y'all want to
can
do?
dive
Y'all want to talk
into
about Dallas?
anything,
Y'all
man.
want to talk about?
We're gonna talk about the fact that Andy Dalton just got signed in Dallas.
We could.
That's a good topic.
You
That's a good
always wanna
topic.
Come from my boy Dak.
I'm not
that's a good
coming for him today.
I'm not coming for him this week, but next week I'm on his ass.
Yeah.
Damn right.
God, anybody that listens and watches our podcast know that Dre is always trying to rile me up with this Dak Prescott conversation.
Infamous Dak Prescott hater.
Okay, Chris. What's your views? I'm gonna let you take the lead again if you want to.
Nah, you got it, bro.
Oh, I got this. I do have this. All right. So initially last night I found out. Breaking news: Andy Dalton, 1 year, $3 million. And at first I thought to myself, Andy
$7
Dalton,
million, but he got $3 million.
$3 million, and then there's 4, and like we don't know how it's
guaranteed,
coming, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Incentives.
So I'm like, I'm not too hyped about this. But then I started thinking about it deeper. I said, wait a second, this is a great backup. And what happened with the Saints last year and the Chiefs last year? Their starting quarterback got hurt, and I'm not saying Dak's going to get hurt, but just worse came to worse, right? They were able to win enough games to get to the playoffs, and essentially that got the Chiefs to a Super Bowl win. So it's great to have a great backup quarterback. There's no one can dispute
So
that.
Andy Dalton's Teddy Bridgewater?
He's a great backup.
He's never been a backup, so you don't know.
He's
if
not
gonna be a great
Bridgewater.
backup.
Okay, Chris, but if you put him in there, who else do we have available other than Cam Newton to really put out there in that?
No,
in that
I see what you're
situation?
pointing, but I'm just trying to be objective about it. He's never been a backup.
Okay, yeah, he's never been a backup, but I feel like he can go out there and at least keep him in the game. Worst case scenario.
We'll see.
No.
He's better than Cooper Rush.
That's what I'm saying.
He
Like,
can't
it's-
do shit as a
it
starter, so I'm not
improved.
convinced on him as a backup.
I mean, low key, I don't think that the Bengals gave him that much of a chance to win, though.
What are you talking about?
So he had Green, he had Ross, right, for a certain time. And Green's nice. I love AJ Green. Don't
Yeah,
get it
he's
messed
phenomenal.
up. But
AJ
they've
Green's
never
super
like
nice.
their running game's always been trash. Like Giovanni Bernard and them, like they're never like this trash. Their defense holes everywhere. And yeah, he hasn't been like he doesn't have a great percentage and stuff like that. But honestly, he's been to more playoff games than Dallas has won since '96. So, I mean, he at least gets you to the playoffs if you need to get there with a team that's not talented as Dallas is right now altogether.
I'll for sure give you one thing. He never had a Dallas O line.
Absolutely
He
not.
never had a Dallas O line.
And I feel like any capable QB with the offense Dallas has, you have Blake Jarwin as a top 5 tight end. Our receivers are nice now. Offensive line is still okay. Zeke is top 5.
He's top 3.
I was gonna say I don't know, bro.
What?
I'm more so on a what have you done for me lately. Last
do you
year I
mean?
know he made Pro Bowl based on name, but I don't think last year he was really as productive as what I've seen. I think
so. You used to the 1,200, 1,300 yards.
yeah,
seasons.
well, I mean, not necessarily stats. When we looked at impact, like let's be real, we watched every game. As far as Zeke's impact, he was really spotty. He was
He
really
had some
spotty.
iffy games for sure.
I
Right?
mean, I was like, okay, is it the money? Like, did we give you the
So,
money?
so
and
weigh in all the variables.
Okay.
Weigh in every variable. He wasn't at
wasn't
training
as-
camp.
Okay,
He showed up pretty much like maybe a couple weeks before the first game of the season. He
Bro,
didn't
probably
really
a
play
few
the first
days.
game.
Probably a few days before that
for
game.
a few days, right? So think about all those elements, right? He normally have a full training camp, a full off season with the team, and developing chemistry and things
For
like
sure.
that. I think that was part of the reason why he didn't have.
I
that
agree.
good of a season
I agree,
that he did
100%.
The like previous years.
So regardless,
But-
I see some decline, of course, last year compared to other years with Zeke, but I'd rather be a Dallas Cowboys team with Ezekiel Elliott than without.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
So I'm just saying, hey, Dalton has got the Bengals to the playoffs many times. We're giving him $3 million guaranteed. It's a good move. It's not that bad.
I don't disagree with you.
Yeah,
on that.
he's from here in Katy, so that's kind of cool too, just because
Wow,
we're
for
in
sure.
Katy too. But outside of
from
that, man, but this is another hindsight. I'm not digging into Dak, but the thing is if he does have to take over and plays well, that is an issue for Dak. If it is an issue for Dak, I feel like they're trying to put a little heat on him a little bit. Like, oh, we have somebody else. Not that he can replace Dak. Don't get that twisted by any means. But if he comes out there and he does play extremely well at the Cowboys, all of a sudden at negotiation time, it might be harder for Dak to ask for as much if someone else proved they can do the same thing with the same talent on the team.
Got you.
I think that's probably part of the reason why Jerry Jones probably picked him up. He's gonna see real soon that Andy Dalton can't run like that, right? How many situations have we been in when we're in the 10, 15-yard line, and Dak has got us in the end zone with his legs, right? Fortunate, unfortunate. It's convenient that he don't throw when it's in a certain situation, but if you can just run, like Lamar Jackson example, right? Run into the end zone.
Yeah.
Get the fucking touchdown, right?
Yeah.
And he does that better than damn near anybody in the NFL.
Actually, and I don't want to put my quarterback at risk, but I would like to see him run more than he really does.
No, he stopped running so much. I think
I know,
at
he did.
risk of like making sure he didn't get hurt.
But
right?
when you run, you got to use some kind of like, all right, I got to slide or I got to get out of bounds to protect myself. Absolutely, you're the head of the football team. So with that being said, I would like to see Mike McCarthy, all the playmakers, let him have the ability to run more, but in a safe manner.
Yeah, I think a lot of that comes down to, and I'll let you go, Larry, my bad. I think a lot of that just, being in the fitness industry and understanding how most quarterbacks, they strength training routine, bro. Like even when we were in college, like our quarterback didn't have no crazy strength training routine. That's a primary reason why a lot of quarterbacks, like your Tom Brady's, they're not doing no vigorous strength training routine. Like I guarantee you, there's a huge difference between Tom Brady's strength training routine and Dak Prescott's strength training routine. A huge difference, right? Not that Tom Brady doesn't work out. Like you don't hear me wrong, but their strength training routine is different. And so probably similar with Lamar Jackson, he lost weight coming into this year, but he's a lot stronger than he was the year before. And that's so he can absorb more of those hits because that's just the style he plays, right? The style of football he plays. So I think that's a huge difference.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, man, I didn't really feel like the trade was worth. I mean, the pickup was worth that much, right? I think the thing with Dak, of course, you can't foresee any injuries, but I don't really see Dak getting hurt. We haven't had a problem with him. He's been playing every game. I think that I'm not going to say he's a good backup because like Chris said, we haven't seen him at backup, but seeing him run a team and being like the actual starter of a team, I'm not like, oh my God, like super afraid if that situation does occur.
If we had Teddy Bridgewater, I'd be like, oh shit, okay, there might be some issues.
Bro,
But
I was
Teddy
Bridgewater as a starter almost at some
That's what I'm
point. 'cause
saying.
he's
Like
nice,
if we had
bro.
Teddy Bridgewater as a starter, I feel like him and Dak are not necessarily equivalent. I still give the edge to Dak just because his so far, but Teddy Bridgewater is a very, 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 very good player.
Yeah.
But is it Teddy or is it just that offensive system? Because that's a great offensive system.
Because he was great with Minnesota until his injury, right? It was a non-contact injury, and then he got moved, and then we got to see him come back again. And they, the Saints were, we don't have Drew Brees. This is a problem. He came in there and did a thing. Like everyone's like, this is very impressive. Hence, I see Bridgewater as just a solid quarterback. I
would love to have Michael Thomas and me throw him to him when he catching 80% of what's coming to him. I'm just saying that motherfucker could be catching everything, bro.
That boy got hands.
Yeah. But like all in all, I didn't really see too much significance from it. But if it puts some pressure behind Dak and it and it kind of lets him know, hey, bro, I mean, at least we got somebody that's capable that was a starter. Maybe he plays better. I don't know, but I mean, I'm kind of realistic, bro. I'm hoping that Dak comes through this year, and I'm hoping that Zeke plays a lot better than he did last year. Leave it at that.
He got that money, man, and he'll come through with a full, hopefully, offseason, barring any issues with the pandemic. But
let's hope, man, because I'm tired of losing. I can tell you that. I'm tired of hearing about your 90 Super Bowls. What are you gonna talk about next? I'm tired of that talk.
I'm tired of not getting past the first round of the playoffs.
I promise you.
Let alone losing. Like we've won a lot of games over the last 4 years, but we ain't won but one playoff game.
13-3. Like man, come on, help us out here. I promise you.
Nuts. What you got next for us, Dre?
Shoot, what y'all want to dive into? We got fun topics today. We got another three-peat if y'all ready for that to change it up a little bit. We're talking about a music three-peat, back to back to back.
I'm so excited about
And this is, once again, very objective because we're not saying like, these are the three best albums ever made. There's so many genres of music. Personal. We're just saying personal, like which three you dig and are into and stuff like that. So, Larry, I'll let you supercharge this first one, man. Go ahead and take over.
I'm not even going to lie. I was definitely hoping somebody else was going to go. But
I felt like he picked Nipsey. No, I'm kidding. Nipsey Hussle. And all love to Nipsey, bro.
Nah, man. I didn't. Definitely R.I.P. West Coast legend. Actually, man, I went with my boy K-Dot this time, bro. I feel like I feel like the three-peat that K-Dot came with was nice. From the lineup, and I'm gonna tell you where I start. I start at Good Kid, Mad City, which is his major label debut, and I want to go with To Pimp a Butterfly, and then I got to go with Damn, right? And I'll just give you a quick breakdown, not too long. Good Kid, Mad City, straight rap, so it's like pure rhyme, like a great storyline, like classic album to me. And I got To Pimp a Butterfly, which kind of gives you his conscious, in-depth side, like about what's going on in culture and just every day as far as like our community. And then I give you Damn, which kind of gives you a combination of both. You got Commercial, still maintaining that conscious, still going deep. And I just think overall a solid album. The reason why I put it like today was because if Macklemore doesn't come in and steal one, bro, this man has 3 Grammys. He has
going back to Macklemore in that thrift shop.
Yeah, bro. Like I really hated that, bro.
So bad,
I really hated that.
J. Cole's mad about that too.
Yeah.
I think everyone
It's
was,
blasphemy.
right?
bro.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
Now.
Good Kid,
crazy.
Mad City, bro, all the way through, bro. Like all the way through.
Thrift shop.
Yeah,
right?
man. Like that shit hurt, man. Because I was like, what's going on, bro?
Yeah,
What
that's
you got?
craziness.
What you got? Who next?
I mean,
got
I'll
it.
go because I have the same genre as you.
Yeah.
You know, we're putting top 5s in here. So at first, I was real close to leaning at Outkast for the longest. I was like, man, Outkast's
thought
first
you were
3
going with
albums
them. We talked
was
about it.
legit. Yeah. But then my boy Larry said, man, I'm surprised. I'm like, why? He's like, what about your GOAT, Stray? I said, you talking about the white boy? Yeah, he got that. That Eminem, man, absolutely. The
respectable.
first 3 albums were fire. Like
shits don't
he
make
came
no
out with
sense.
Dr. Dre and just took over the world.
For
He came
sure.
with a Slim Shady LP, and then he came back with a Marshall Mathers LP, which is like kind of like darker and stuff like that.
sure.
And then he came with the Eminem show, which was like, I love the production, like Timberland and everything was on there. And those are just 3 hitters. And because of this 3 albums is I feel the reason why a lot of people have M in the top 5, just solely based off of these 3 albums.
Yeah, off of those 3
Yeah,
albums.
it
Nah,
really-
I can agree. What's some of your favorite cuts off of like those albums?
Man, I like Role Model. Role Model's like
Role
one of
Models
my
is
big
fire.
ones and stuff like that. And just to throw another little zinger in there, he had his group D12, and he was putting out music at that point too. And they had some real good songs on there as well. But I mean, they were coming for heads on these albums. Like there was like, I can kind of play them the whole way through and be happy with them.
Yeah.
The wordplay and everything that he did. Definitely just great. And if I had to pick my favorite, I'm gonna go with the Marshall Mathers LP, the one in the middle. I
Oh,
just
for
felt
sure.
Like,
For
like
sure.
he was just
For sure.
on
You got
like, the
some-
whole way.
You got some cuts on there, Chris, that you like from those 3?
Guilty Conscience.
Yeah,
Love that
Guilty
song.
Conscience with Dre.
Real Slim Shady. Love that song.
Yeah.
Just,
That's
just the
his-
whole
that's
vibe.
how he blew up, yeah.
Yeah, that thing is crazy. Shit, I don't know. What
Bro,
else?
I
Damage.
I was just gonna say Stan, bro. Cause Stan
The
like
video,
that.
the video,
yeah,
the stand.
It was so
in
great.
combination to the
It
song
was great.
is
It was great.
fucking crazy.
It's all dark and they
The
got
way I
Yeah,
am,
it's nuts.
the way I am is fire. The way I am, I like Marshall Mathers because I'm just that one. And then he
Just
goes
Marshall
into Kim. Kim was dope. That was dark. And then I like what's the track I'm looking for? Till I Collapse, bro.
Till I Collapse.
Till I Collapse.
That's one of my favorite gym songs to put
Yeah.
on. Like I'm about to get
Till I
ready for like a
Collapse.
real heavy, and that
Yeah.
beat just comes in, and you're like, okay, yeah,
No
like,
doubt.
we're about to get this.
You got Superman and then the Haley song. How do I forget the Haley song? Superman, the Haley song, bro. Yeah, that's actually a pretty good 3, bro. I like that 3. I like that 3.
I like that too as well. So I went not necessarily left field, but different genre. I went with Michael Jackson. Like Michael Jackson's 3P is, if I would have stayed with pick rap, I would have definitely probably picked Kendrick Lamar or Eminem. Either one of those you could have went either way with that and not been disappointed. But I went with Michael Jackson. I mean his work just really speaks for itself. I got Thriller. I was gonna do Off the Wall, Thriller, then Bad, and then I thought about it for a second. I'm going with Thriller, Bad, and Dangerous.
I knew you were gonna say
And
Dangerous.
whoo!
Dangerous is for sure a sleeper. It's a
Jackson,
sleeper.
dude. Is like, man, I don't know what
Sleeper.
it is about his music. Like one time, me and the wifey just literally just watched all his music videos back to back to back on YouTube. Just watching them,
King of Pop, bro.
It don't
Like,
make
you
no
just
sense.
can't, like,
and the amount
he
of,
never missed.
Oh man, he never missed. I did some digging, and I've seen this before, but just thinking about it, right? So I don't know when they changed the certification process, but back in the day, I don't know, for a long time, in order for you to go platinum, you had to sell 1 million records, right? Thriller went 33 times platinum. Let that soak in for a little
That
bit.
shit is outrageous.
33 times platinum. That man went 3 times diamond on one album.
Yeah.
Right? Highlights of that album: Billie Jean, Beat It, Human Nature, Thriller. Right? Bad, Diamond, 10 times platinum. Man in the Mirror, Smooth Criminal, Bad, and Dirty Diana. Crazy. Right? And then Dangerous, 8 times platinum. Right? Black or White, Remember the Time, Heal the World, and Jam off of Space Jam movie too. That same movie song, Jam. Yeah, that shit. It don't make no sense. So that's my guy. That's who I'm going with.
I just want to say one small thing. I love the list. My boy said highlights of that album, bro. I'm born in '94. Those are highlights of people's lives. Understand that, like, people born in 2000s know those songs, bro.
Yeah,
for sure,
like,
man.
I was talking because I was at work and I was talking to a teacher, bro, and she was telling me she had like a real bad student. Like, he was the worst kid in the school, and they like gave him to her. Like, it was like one of those paper, rock, scissors, who gets the kid, right?
Yeah.
She said she told this kid, she said, hey, if you be good all year, you make good grades all year. Because, like, she said she used to play Michael Jackson during, like, the school days.
Yeah.
She said, if you be good all year, because I know you like it, I'll give you this Michael Jackson album. Never had a problem with him.
That's crazy.
Never had a problem
What
with him,
album
bro.
was it?
She said it was Thriller.
Thriller?
She said, like, in some cases, bro, I think, like, you know, just knowing music and the impact it has on the world, in some cases, bro, you don't have to buy an album. You can just walk outside. You can just go. I mean, back then, you don't have the same level of game and social media. You walk outside, go to the neighborhood, bro. It's just some stuff you gonna hear.
Like,
You know
that's
what I'm saying?
like Michael Jackson is like the only person in my eyes to ever exist on the planet who dominated their field of work more than anybody.
Just completely.
Like, you know, even when we're talking about Jordan and him being the greatest of all time in a lot of people's eyes and stuff like that, and how on The Last Dance they were saying, hey, Jordan, this dude is just really good at his job.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, Michael Jackson, if Michael Jackson was a basketball player, he would be killing Jordan. Think about that. This man's the amount of times he actually won, and I forgot to look up and see how many Grammys he's won.
Oh, his accolades are just
Amazing,
insane.
dude.
I got
you ever see
a
that picture
Michael
with him?
Jackson moment.
It's crazy.
This is, you said 94. I remember being like a kid, and this was 1993, back in the glory days. Dallas Cowboys and Buffalo Bills, and he came out in a
Super
halftime
Bowl.
performance.
Super Bowl.
And I had never seen Michael Jackson perform until that time.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was like the most amazing.
Bro, that was
like,
a great performance.
It was like second to none. Like,
Yeah.
it was just like this guy here. Like,
Great.
wow.
Great performance. Love.
me see
Like
how
I
the
said,
awards
love the list. I do agree with Chris as far as like Michael Jackson dominating. What's funny is I'm actually on the opposing side of Michael Jackson. I love Michael Jackson
'Cause you're
as an
Prince.
artist, but you know I'm taking my all-time GOAT is Prince. I'm not taking nobody over Prince. I just love Prince as far as his musicianship. I think
He's a beast.
I just think that Prince is that guy, and especially when you said Super Bowl performance, I think Prince has undoubtedly the best Super Bowl performance that I've seen. When you come out wearing 6-inch heels in the rain with a bandana on, bro, and have people crying singing Purple Rain, like, who does that, bro? Who does that with a guitar, like, you
crazy.
know, all instruments?
Hey,
bro.
y'all know we got to come up with the best Super Bowl list, a halftime Super Bowl list.
I'm going with Janet Jackson, Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, I knew somebody was going to say that. I knew that was coming. I knew it was
Most
coming.
controversial.
Michael Jackson had 13 Grammys.
That's amazing, bro.
That is unreal.
That's amazing. Salute the King of Pop, bro.
Yes, for
Absolutely.
sure. R.I.P. for sure.
Yeah, man. It's too many legends, but everybody good on that?
Yeah, we're
Everybody
good,
good on
man.
that?
on
Speak,
that, bro.
speaking on music, I know, you know, we had this little conversation about top, you know, 2010 and present artists. So that new Drake just dropped.
Yes, it did.
Any
Dark Lane demo
yeah,
tapes.
for sure, bro. Any type of reviews on that? How y'all feeling about that?
It's all right.
I'll throw a couple opinions on there. I definitely give it, before you just give it a grade on it, I'll give it a B.
Okay.
I'm good with the solid B.
Got you.
We know Drake, like, as far as coming out, he never really misses. He's so likable and stuff
Yeah,
like
man.
that, right? So some of this we have already heard before. You know, they had Tootsie Slide, all that stuff on there. But the way that it started off, that's why I like it so much, is he just used some old beats and stuff. They chopped it up, and then he started. Once I heard that song "Cry," I said, "Oh, I know Larry's hyped right now." Once the ultimate Jay-Z fan over here,
Yeah.
and then he came out and he started. I'm gonna say homage. He started rapping Eminem lyrics. He started rapping Too Short lyrics, and I'm talking about bars, like multiple bars. And I was like, "Oh wow, okay, we're paying some homage out here to some of the greats." Yeah, man.
That's a good way to get away from not ghostwriting.
Yeah, I assume so, right? But it's like,
I'm just
you know,
kidding.
it's cool for
Not really.
what we call this quarantine vibes or something like that. Yeah, it's not an A album, but I'm not mad at it. I'm not hating on it or anything like that.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. What you got, Chris?
I like binge listen to the rest of it on the way here. It's decent.
Yeah.
It's not for me. I gotta listen to an album like 2 or 3 times in order
Okay.
for me to really get a good vibe for it. And I listened to it once, one listen through, and it's solid. It's just, I mean, if you were to do a quick rank on all his albums, it ain't in top 5.
Nah.
Or is it considered a studio album?
I
Or is it just like an EP?
I think it's I would probably
Or
say
a mixtape,
I
excuse me.
was gonna say probably like a commercial mixtape or something like that they
Yeah,
do.
probably not a studio album,
Yeah,
right.
for sure.
Gotcha.
If it's a studio album, I'm a little bit disappointed. I might have to change the grade
I
on
don't
that at
think
that point. Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah, you just thought it was
yeah,
like
I
a
think that-
mixtape, right?
Yeah, I think it's
I
just like a
honestly think- Let's
mixtape.
check that out real quick. Go ahead, Larry.
Yeah. So to be honest, like I've been going back and forth on it, and I just want to kind of give a honest review. I'm gonna give it a B-, man. So I kind of got the same opinion as you on the first 3 songs. First 3 songs were solid, right? The Deep Pockets was a great intro, by the way. I really like the next 2, which was the song cry freestyle, and the song you're referencing. I think was that when he does the Superman bars or whatever.
Yep.
I like those 2, and I think that they were awesome. But those were already on SoundCloud, so I heard them. Right. I wasn't really too much a fan of the Tootsie Slide. I wasn't really too thrilled about the Desires with Future. I'm kind of fed up with him and Future doing music. I'm not really big on that anymore. And then on top of that, I love Losses. I love a few of the songs he had in between. Wasn't really too into the UK rap. Like I don't like when he does the UK. Like when he uses the UK slang or the British terminology and all of that. And I think this kind of just goes back because I got a lot of friends always telling me, put Drake up there. Love Drake as an artist, man. But I think what we got to start doing is when we listen to music, stop trying to already have an A grade just because of the artist. Right? Like I'm not going to go with the preconceived notion
like everything
that
they
this
put out is
album.
gold.
Yeah,
Right.
bro, because to be
Except
honest.
unless you're Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, because to be honest, bro, I felt like this one wasn't really that good to me, dude. Like it just wasn't, right? I mean, like I said, it's a few good tracks on there, and maybe because it's Drake, I expect it's kind of like Jordan, right? Sure, if Steve Kerr goes out there and give you 20, you're like, oh damn, Steve Kerr just gave 20. But if it's Jordan and he give you 20, I'm kind of disappointed, bro.
Right.
Like I expect more.
I want a
from you,
30-40.
Drake.
What is this right here?
Like,
and with that
expect
B
more.
grade is like at the beginning I was hyped. I was like, oh, this is great
gonna
right
be
here.
nice.
Yeah, this is gonna be a banger. But then as it kept progressing, I felt myself same thing with the Future, the Chris Brown. Like, oh, we're just going back to these. You already know people are gonna just fall in love with. So I said as it kept going, I started like caring less and less, and not like starting to word critique and things like that. Yeah, I think we could have got a little bit better. I'm not mad at it. Now, with that being said, what do you think as far as like albums this year? What are you really feeling?
Oh man,
Since you gave that like a B-, what are you
sure.
feeling? Because we haven't got a lot of music this year.
No.
It's a sad time for music because there's no live or anything like that. So, what do you got? 2020.
So in current rotation right now, man, I'm listening to Lil Baby, My Turn. Lil Baby, My Turn is nice, bro. That Lil Baby is nice. A lot of people,
tight, man.
yeah. But and then of course I love the bars, but I feel like you kind of prepare yourself to listen to it. But Lil Baby definitely got some nice bangers.
I
on
really
there.
fuck with him, bro. I
Yeah.
always feel like he not trying too hard.
Yeah,
when
bro,
he rap.
it's seamless. Like
I like his music,
it's
bro.
nice.
At
And-
first, I was a little iffy, and then I just started listening to some more of his shit. And I was like,
It was not. Yeah, it's,
That nigga
hey,
go hard,
hey, it's
bro.
hard to me. Lil Baby got one of the best albums. And then my next album definitely is that J Electronica, dude. That J Electronica is fire. So me being a huge Hove fan, I know people gonna say that Hove got a verse on every song besides one. But surprisingly, I'm actually really impressed with J Electronica flow on there, man. He incorporates like his Nation of Islam religion in there. He got some great wordplay, great bars on there. I love the collabs. And, man, I really just felt it overall. And like Chris said, I kind of had to go back and listen to it 2 or 3 times because initially I was like, man, it's just good J. But then when I re-listened to it, I was like, okay, Electronica kind of keeping up. He kind of keeping up. So far, those are my top 2. And then Mozzie just dropped, who I was trying to tell you about. Mozzie.
Yeah, you always talking about Mozzie, yeah.
The rapper from Sacramento. He just dropped, I think on the same day, if not the day before Drake. So I need to go check that out to go see about that.
you don't like that Joyner? I'm surprised you didn't
Joyner
say
Lucas?
Joyner Lucas.
It's not my top. I mean,
Okay,
it was
fair enough.
cool. It was cool.
Yeah, I respect that.
You got any Dre? I mean, you got any Chris for 2020?
Not really. I'm not super into music like you are, right? So, I kind of just stumble across stuff as it comes to me.
As it hits, yeah, I feel you.
Really, to be honest with you, I'm still hooked on 2019 and Roddy Ricch, so I'm still not over that.
That Roddy Ricch was nice.
I'm
That
still
Roddy
not over
Ricch
that.
was
See, I
nice.
hold on to an album for about a year and a
feel
half
you.
before I let it go.
I feel you.
But it's cool, man. I'm gonna just keep rocking with it for now.
I feel
but
you, bro, because I'm still listening to Victory Lap. So I'm still jamming Victory Lap.
Carrie gets
Sure,
mad at
bro.
me. Like,
Yeah.
Oh,
turn this shit off. Why are we still listening to that?
Have you seen the memes, bro? When it's like, have you seen it online? It's like, can we listen to something besides Nipsey? And the lady is on the ground getting thrown out of the car. That's me. That's me, bro. It's on IG. It's like It says, can we listen to something besides Nipsey? And it's a woman tumbling outside the car after being thrown out, bro. If you ever tell me to turn off Nip, bro, I'm like, yeah, man. Like that's
some
the
real
type of love
problems
you
over
give.
here.
What you got, Dre, as far as 2020, bro?
2020, I'm gonna give it to Royce, man. Royce the 5'9".
Nickel.
Once again, I feel like he's underrated, really. Like as a lyricist and everything, this boy is on. He's been doing it since, man, back when him and M were doing it. And honestly, right now, I got a little preference over Royce over M at current day as far as delivery and content and things like that. He was actually trending really good on social media. Everyone was giving the album a lot of props right before this coronavirus happened. The features were on point. It has West Side's Gun, Benny the Butcher. I know you feel Benny.
boys right there.
The Butcher's coming.
Ooh.
Yeah.
The Butcher coming.
But lyrically, I don't think there's many people in the genre that can keep up with this boy. I'm very, very impressed what he's putting down. I do like your Jay Electronica, but Jay-Z actually took that album over to me. The only... Not that Electronica doesn't have content. It's just he pushes religion pretty hard. Yeah. And Jay seems a little more relatable on the album as far as what he's doing there. And shout outs R.A. the Rugged Man. He released recently. But other than that, man, it's been a pretty slow year as far as everything coming. We're not getting music. We're not getting movies. So you got to appreciate what you get.
I gotta,
For sure.
I gotta say after him saying that, oh, can I leave this off, dude? That West Side Gun, Pray for Pears. That West Side Gun, Pray for Pears, dude. I don't know if y'all are you listening to Griselda?
No.
You don't listen to bro. I'm telling y'all, for all my viewers there who into like real rap, coke rap, if you're not listening to Griselda, bro, wake up. Benny, West
How
Side
about you
Gun.
just start texting me
come,
these people, man?
Hey,
Like,
come
We
wait a
gotta get you
machine,
on,
bro.
because what happens is when they get going, like, and as far as production as well, and that's what another thing I liked about that Royce. You know, anytime Preem jumps on something, I'm a big DJ Premier fan, but it has that grimy, like that locks sound to it, like that old
Bars.
just bars and locks. That's what I like about it, man. Yeah.
And they got a lot of Alchemist cuts on there.
They do.
So I know you like Alchemist a lot. Alchemist got some great cuts on there. And as far as like, man, just giving just raw like rap, dude, and it still has a vibe to where you can drive in a car and listen to it. Like I'm not really too fond of you preaching to me like nowadays. Like that's headphone music, but it's a good vibe, bro. Like you can really just just roll to it. And it's Griselda, man. Check out Griselda, Benny, Conway, and West Side Gun, man. I like that.
That's dope. Yeah, send that to me.
For sure. I got you. I got you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna shoot you that link.
Shoot. Okay, that's the new albums. What else we got today?
So far, let's go into what you thinking.
I was gonna hit that Last Dance.
Last Dance. That's cool.
What'd you have?
I kind of want to go last on my take on this. You know how I talk about Last Dance as far as how I feel about it. That gotta go last, bro. I didn't see Last Dance coming up, but I'm gonna go last, bro. I'm gonna save it for last.
All right,
what y'all
Last
thought
Dance.
about it? I want to hear positive stuff first.
3 and 4.
3 and 4.
We got to see 2 big things, right?
Okay.
Dennis Rodman.
Okay.
Isaiah Thomas. We'll get back to that.
We're gonna get back to that, bro.
Isaiah Thomas, right?
Yeah.
Bro,
That boy's
his
a
publicity is
hater.
trash.
He can't win at all.
But that Rodman episode was legit.
Oh, that
was
Rodman
nice.
episode
And they
was
showed the
dope.
progression.
Yeah.
They like how they started when he was a kid
Yeah.
and went the whole way through and everything. And he just got picked up. And man, talking about rebound dominance, year
bro, he was
after
solid.
year after year. Honestly, he might be the greatest rebounder of all time.
For
I
sure.
don't. I think that's without question.
Yeah.
For
I
sure.
don't
He's
see
definitely
nobody
up
doing-
there.
yeah.
Where does he rank all-time rebounding, though?
That list, you might Google that one
all-time
up.
rebounding.
I liked it. I felt like Rodman was that piece that Pippen and Jordan just needed in order to dominate.
Yeah.
That was the missing piece, and that what makes them part of it. One of the all-time great teams. The Pistons, man, they were playing dirty basketball. But I'll let you jump into it.
Okay.
He's on the 23rd on all-time rebounding.
Are we
He's
just
low.
are we just talking about 3? Just episode 3 because you didn't do
Yeah,
4.
episode 3 and 4.
Yeah, we can
Well,
do
no,
that.
he talked about it a little bit.
I touched on it, but
Yeah.
I'll let you take over. I'm just
Okay.
doing highlights.
Okay.
You
So-
wanted to go last, right?
Yeah.
So-
give it to him, Chris.
Same view as you. It's funny because I was telling my wife about that whole Dennis Rodman episode when he left and went to Vegas. He was in a weight room and he was like, kamikaze. I said, bro, he turning up in the weight room. I was like, Dennis didn't really give a shit at all.
Right.
Like, Buddy didn't care at all about really much of anything, and I respect that about him. He was always himself, and I think the craziest thing about it and that whole the POV on it, the point of view on it is because how intense Jordan was as a player, and they showed that man Rodman a lot of slack. They gave him a lot of slack. You know what I mean? I think Jordan has so much respect for him as a player that it was crazy because Jordan was talking about a time when he came back from Vegas and Phil was making them do like a running drill, right? Where the person who's last in the run has to sprint to the front, right? And so Jordan told all the players, "Hey, you know what? Let's just jog, so that nobody has to sprint."
Right.
And then Rodman took off. And Phil was like, y'all had to catch Rodman. And Jordan was like, bro, it took us 4 laps to catch
Catch up to that man. Yeah.
4 laps. And he's just like, God, I don't know why I keep saying Pippen. Rodman was never gone. Like, he was always there. He just wasn't physically there.
And I like how smart MJ was. Like, okay, I kind of understand who Rodman is as a person.
Yep.
And even though he pushed everybody,
Yep.
he knew to get the best out of Rodman, he would have to go let Rodman unwind, decompress, and whatnot. And that gave them the best chance to win.
For sure.
Really great, like, intelligent move by.
Absolutely. So that was
I
love.
feel like I'm not gonna. I'm gonna have to go in my take eventually. I'm gonna respond to what y'all said. I feel like that's us giving MJ credit because how I interpret it, it wasn't MJ. It was 100% Phil. It was Phil because episode 4 chronicles Phil and how he understand and respect Rodman as a person and how they're so close. Michael Jordan almost was kind of like, dude, if you let this motherfucker go, then I don't think that we're gonna get him back on time. Like he was kind of in a sense against it. Then
He was right, though.
and he was true. He was right. And then on the back end, he's like, if anybody needs a vacation, it's gonna be me. So I feel I'm not gonna give. Again, you know me. I'm not gonna give Jordan credit for that. I'm gonna give that to Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson brought it to Michael Jordan, him being the leader of the squad. And then at that point, Michael Jordan was kind of against it. But you know what I'm saying? Like it was like, okay, what we gonna do, man? This guy's we can't really control him. He's off the record. He asked for it.
Yeah, but minus Rodman, I would say Pippen possibly. Would any other player be able to do that?
Minus Rodman? Nah, I don't think so.
Nah.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But
I don't think any other player would do it. But
Right, yeah. But
sure.
I don't
To be
think they
honest with
could
you,
do
for
it.
sure.
That's the thing.
Bro,
yeah.
think
As
about
far as
doing
value.
that. Like, think about that type of shit happening today, right? You got cats taking rest games, which is what it is, right?
Yeah.
But think about having a player who's like, you know what? I just want to go on vacation just because I don't feel like being here, right? That's nuts. You know, the whole idea and the whole thought process behind that is crazy. And that for me, like, you know, and I do respect your point of view as far as like, hey, a lot of that goes to Phil, and you're right about that, right?
Yeah, he is.
Maybe I'm just thinking it like, hey, Jordan was such an intense player, and there's really no telling what kind of conversation they had behind closed doors, right?
For sure.
Jordan could have been like, fuck him. Hell no, he ain't going nowhere. He need to stay his ass here. I need the vacation.
For sure.
I'm doing all the work.
For sure,
You know what
for
I
sure.
mean? So yeah, that could have been
sure,
it. That
for sure.
could have been what happened.
What else you got, Larry? I know Larry
All
got more
right.
to talk on. I see him. Look at
Let
him.
me give you a
Getting
nice
the warm up over
passionate
here.
take on this, bro.
Yeah. So, man, I don't know about y'all, but I said so pretty and so happy after seeing episode 3 and 4. And I was thinking about, dude, I was like, I
Please don't
cannot
bring up
wait.
LeBron in
I
this
was like,
conversation right
hey, I'm not gonna reference him, but I will look, but I will throw little slugs. I'm not gonna say him, but I was, like I said, I was sitting pretty. So off of just like the basic info off of 3 and 4, just chronicling it, we seen the story of Dennis Rodman, we seen the Bulls overcoming the Pistons, and we seen Phil Jackson's story, which was kind of interesting. You know what I'm saying? Seeing the Mavericks, seeing him playing for the Knicks, and just seeing his play, because I never got to
Please
see
put
him play.
respect on that man's name.
Yeah,
by
well,
the
I'm
way.
saying I never got to see him play because of like the time frame. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Of
for
course.
sure, absolutely.
Of course. So that was new to me. I've only seen him as Phil Jackson, the tall coach, right? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Pretty much just coaching stars.
Phil
you know,
Jackson, the
walking,
tall coach.
you know
What's
what I'm
wrong with
saying?
him?
Walking Bad, the Zen Master. But two of the biggest things I picked up and why I was so happy was because it's crazy. We had the conversation about taking the last shot and being a star, right? And then it goes into Paxson scoring 20 points off of Jordan assists and him having to pass the ball because of him trying to shoot out of triple teams and how it wasn't good for the offense, which is what I was saying. Like, I do understand that Michael Jordan is an aggressive player. He wants to take the shot, which we can all appreciate. But at the same time, dude, I got a professional NBA player. He did not make it here for his looks. He's here to shoot in that corner. That's his job. So why am I, Michael Jordan, who's not drawing in the defense, going to kick out the ball? I would prefer you to pass it to this wide open man. And you know what I'm saying? I just got to live off of that. And then also, not for you guys, but I got a few people in the barbershop. I got a few people around that always talking about how the modern day players don't want to hold the best player. Well, newsflash, they put Scottie Pippen on Magic Johnson.
Because he was the best defender.
I understand that. And what if I, who is primarily the juggernaut on offense, want to preserve energy and have another player who may be more fitting for defense hold him? I just feel like that does not take away from a player. It's like, if I'm trying to win the game, bro, me and you going against each other like tat for tat, I'm not trying to prove who's the better player. I'm trying to win the game. So at the end of the day, I can't fault a player for having someone else play the best player. Because I just feel like at that point, if you go through a lot of their finals and the championships, Scottie Pippen is the primary defender amongst the best players. Because
Scottie Pippen didn't he get defensive player of the year?
I don't remember him getting.
Like, I keep going back to this, but he made multiple all defensive teams, right? But I'm gonna let you finish before I dive on this. But even with Pippen's credentials, I mean, I'm saying a conversation of taking away from players because another player is holding the best player. What player are you talking about specifically? Because you ain't talking about James Harden. You're talking about LeBron.
So my question for you is: are you saying that episode 3 and 4 took away from the greatness that everyone's talking about of Michael Jordan?
No. I am not saying that. I'm only saying that 3 and 4 kind of validated my points as far as like the arguments that I have with people and the points that people take away from current day players. So I'm not going to say specifically LeBron James, but players in general, how these old heads, because that's what I call them, old heads, they have this nostalgic feeling about a player and it kind of overcomes reality, dude. Michael Jordan did not win championships by himself. You cannot say, oh, Michael Jordan just didn't know, bro. Like, Michael Jordan had a great defender in Scottie Pippen. We just went over the dominance of Dennis Rodman. We just went over Tony Kukoc being the 6th man of the year. But yet and still, we're going to take away from people having teams. They have –
well, it's a team sport.
Here's the thing, though, right? So, go ahead, Dre.
It's a team sport, and I would basically let's keep it 100 here. Let's keep it 1,000. You're talking about LeBron, bro.
Passive aggressive, bro.
Yeah, that's what it is. Because Larry's gonna go back to this old names.
We don't have to say names.
He's gonna go back to this old argument that LeBron just kept losing over here because he didn't have no team. Da 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 da. Okay, we'll build a team. Nobody wants to come to Cleveland. No one wants to play with the greatest basketball at that player in the world at this point in time. Come on, be real. Somebody will go over there. Talent will go with you.
Exactly, right.
But for me to go win a championship, I have to go and fly to Florida and then make this super team that we're bringing up today in order to get my first championship. Who was the third super team at that, right? So, and then you lost against the Mavericks in the finals. You know what? I'm not going to go down this.
Biggest meltdown ever.
Yeah, I'm not going to go down this street.
Yeah,
for sure.
But I don't want to get to LeBron.
I wanted to very much validate the point that no, the Bulls were a squad, and in our opinion, my greatest squad ever, and in my opinion, the second greatest starting lineup ever, like for sure. But that doesn't take away from Michael Jordan being the greatest basketball player of all time. In my
his
eyes.
greatness, his greatness is definitely like without question. Like he's great. I'm just saying from what I was saying is that I think that it kind of just gave everybody a refreshment of let's not sit here because a lot of people will say, yeah, man, but Jordan was able to do it. And it's like people forget Jordan had weapons around him. Right. Jordan did not.
Sure,
Jordan had weapons around him. And I would say that him being in Chicago, yes, they did draft Scottie Pippen. Yes, they did go overseas to get Tony Kukoc. And yes, they did acquire Dennis Rodman,
second three-peat
from the Pistons, right? They did acquire him, but at the same time, in this day, like we just said before, on court, the game it's changed, right? So if I see that I'm going against Boston, me being LeBron James, and my front office is not doing what they need to do to develop the talent around me or put me in a position to where I can compete. Again, I'm kind of off faulting LeBron from saying, okay, well, Miami's the 8th seed.
Why don't you think the front office is doing what they're supposed to do?
Who did they get?
Huh? No, why don't you think they are?
Because
there's
they
a
didn't.
reason why. Is they didn't believe in him at the time. I promise you, they didn't believe in LeBron.
How do you not believe in LeBron? LeBron took you to a finals.
They clearly didn't believe in him because if they did, he wouldn't have had to leave.
But who's okay?
Why is it so difficult for any other? Well, why is it so difficult for LeBron, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's involved, right? Ever since he left Miami, why is it so difficult for LeBron? Again, at that point in time, I wouldn't necessarily say the greatest player in the league, but he's definitely top
Arguably,
5 in the league at that time, right?
Arguably the
Why
best
is it
player in
so
the league.
difficult for him to get players and bring them players to the Cavaliers at that time, right? You were overplaying some players. Mo Williams was getting overpaid.
Yeah.
Right. A few cats was getting overpaid, but why is it so difficult for the GM and for the upper management to bring players to Cleveland?
I don't know if you're at, but from what I've seen,
asking you a question.
Okay. So from what I've seen as far as like documentaries and interviews, I think it was plain and simple. Nobody wants to go to Cleveland. No one wants to be in Cleveland.
Exactly.
Based on but I don't think that's in fault of LeBron. I'm just saying like when they were because LeBron said before they were already making plans as far as doing something like that, and he was saying D Wade was like already out on Cleveland. There's no way I'm coming to Cleveland, bro. I'm in Miami. Great vacations over here. Great atmosphere. I'm feeling Miami. I don't think nobody's coming to Cleveland,
right?
Uh-huh.
Think about not Chicago now, but I'm talking about Chicago in early 90s, early 90s, late 80s, right? People wasn't trying to go to Chicago like that.
Chicago's actually, I feel, a lot better of a tourist place than Cleveland
No,
is.
they said the indoor
Windy
soccer team was getting more crowds than Chicago Bulls were.
Thank you.
When
Thank
Jordan,
you.
But
when
not
Jordan-
referencing the team,
But no, I'm talking about the city.
the city.
Yeah,
city.
no one was checking
No,
for
no, no,
Chicago.
the Bulls, bro.
But I'm saying not the Bulls, not referencing the Bulls. I'm saying Chicago. I'm not saying nobody's saying like, oh, I don't want to go to the Cavaliers. No one wants to play in Cleveland.
But they're one and the same. You can't
Yeah,
have the
Chicago?
Cavaliers without Cleveland.
Chicago-
You can't have Cleveland.
Current day
No.
Chicago's nice,
I'm
and
talking.
you want
I'm talking. Okay, so I feel
I see
like
what you're
I
saying.
feel like the misunderstanding. He's going back to the Bulls. I don't want to talk about the Bulls.
Okay.
No one
talking
wants to
about the
go
city
to
in
the
general.
location Cleveland. Chicago is a tourist spot. They're known. There's the Windy City.
We're talking about in the late 80s.
Chicago is what, the third, fourth largest city? Chicago's a
late
tourist
80s? Was
spot.
it the
It's
third
never
largest city?
changed. As far as like Chicago's always
It probably
been a tourist spot.
has been.
But basketball, they weren't ever on the map.
No.
what I'm saying.
And which I understand. But what I'm saying is, as far as acquisitions and him acquiring players to come, no one wants to go to Cleveland. With Chicago's front office made moves to get players. They drafted Scottie Pippen.
So I got you. So people want to go to San Francisco?
You said, do people want to go to San Francisco? San Francisco, it's California. It's still nice. It's still nice.
I get it, but
Also, again, you're going back to my point. They drafted those players. They don't have a choice. I drafted Draymond. I drafted Clay. I've made these players what they are today. I got Harrison Barnes. Now that there's a winning culture, now Kevin Durant comes over. The front office made moves to create that talent. LeBron's front office didn't do that. Cleveland wasn't doing that. Nobody was coming.
I
Bro,
don't know.
I mean,
I just
I'm not-
honestly think my view on it is I just don't think upper management believed in him enough to bring enough players there. Like,
I don't
for
think
me,
it's that because LeBron sold out the arena for them every day. If it wasn't for that, he's drawing
has
big,
to be something,
big
bro.
money. But the thing is from LeBron, I don't like when you have to change teams to go win.
I feel you.
I just as a
I was
sports
the
fan,
same.
yeah.
Just
I was
because
the
my
same.
favorite player didn't have to do that.
Right.
You know, Kobe didn't have to do that.
Right.
He never left LA.
I understand
ever.
what
But
his
do
point
understand your
is because they
point.
kept losing. But I think mindset wise, Jordan would just kept losing forever.
100%.
Yeah, he'll score 60 points a night.
My
and-
Joakim Noah quote, and I understand you about nobody wants to go to Cleveland. Have you ever been to Cleveland? You ever heard it?
I would
I've
never
never
wanna
heard
go
of
to
anybody
Ohio.
wanting to go
Yeah,
to Cleveland on
yeah.
vacation. Right? That's what
I'm
Joakim
never
Noah's
going.
quote.
I'm never going to Cleveland.
He
Yeah.
was like, "You think Cleveland's nice?" You know, so I get that, and I don't. Maybe I wouldn't want to go hoop in Cleveland. I would probably prefer to go to Miami.
Love to go to
Right,
LA,
for
Miami,
sure. I would
San
love to
Francisco.
go to these
Yeah,
hot
love to
spots
go to
where
these
it's
places.
nice, the women beautiful and all that shit. No knock the women in Chicago; they're probably just as beautiful. But still, point being,
Yeah.
nobody wants to go to the Midwest and freeze their ass off for half the year.
Yeah.
But again, my point is like you got one of the hottest attractions or hottest upcoming athletes ever in there. You got to be able to close somebody to come and hoop there, dude. Like somebody. You got to be able to get at least a
Let me ask though,
superstar.
what were
All-star.
I got you. I'm understanding. So before LeBron, tell me any like big notable acquisitions in the offseason. As far as
What do you
like
mean?
players going to another squad, like stars.
Huh?
Any
talking about
stars,
Cleveland or you talking about
notable
everybody?
in general. Any notable acquirements that were made in the offseason. Because my thing
Going to another team.
going to another team.
Shaq went
Any
to the
star.
Lakers.
Shaq got picked up in free agency by the Lakers, but I'm saying like around the time of LeBron, like in that era.
What? You said before though.
I said before. No, before.
said
Okay,
before
okay,
LeBron.
okay. I'll take that.
Shaq went to
Shaq.
the Lakers.
Okay.
Right.
Any more?
Dennis Rodman went to the Bulls.
Dennis Rodman, not necessarily a star at that point.
What?
He wasn't
won
a star.
He won 2 championships. With
He did not
with
win.
the Pistons.
He won 2 championships.
starter,
He was a
bro.
role player. He was a role player. He's not the
right.
star. I said stars. He's not the star.
So that's
Joe
this-
Du
he was
still-
because
he was
I got Isaiah Thomas. I got Joe Dumars, Bill Laimbeer. Isaiah Thomas is a star. He didn't win an MVP. I said stars. I'm saying like stars in general. Because my point is, before that, there were not many notable free agency pickups among stars. There was a sense of the same thing that you're saying. Oh man, my best player, he didn't go to another team. He stayed on the team. There was a sense of loyalty versus now I can give you multiple people getting picked up in the offseason after LeBron because they've made that switch. I can give you 2 within what you got. Kawhi Leonard just
A lot
went
of that,
somewhere.
but here,
Kevin Durant.
hold on. Before
Yeah.
you go down that road, a lot of that has to do with cap space, bro. So that's not good. That's not a good example because there's way more cap space now than it was in 2002 because of the TV contract. So the cap space is crazy. So it's easier for you to sign a Paul George and a Kawhi Leonard on the same team now than it was in
No,
2002.
but I'm saying a player leaving a team because I can take less. But when you're talking about
you
you're
can't-
talking about
but the-
Magic getting out, you're talking about the Magic getting outbid by the Lakers. They can't contend with the Lakers. The Lakers were able to pay Shaq more.
For sure.
That's why he left.
He was the highest paid player on the team. There wasn't anybody on that team with equivalent contracts, right? My point being is that you're saying another superstar, right? Cap space had a lot to do with that. If you're comparing it to today, you can't do that back then because
Well,
you don't have enough cap space.
Okay, well,
right? As a team, you cannot afford to do that.
I get you.
Now
I get
you
you.
can.
I got you.
That's
I
why
got
you
you.
got LeBron and AD on the same
Right,
team.
and
get
this is like Kobe playing his final year. You know what? I want another championship.
Right.
Let me go to the best available team right now.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
there's
the
something with
Heat-
me not respecting that, bro.
Where the Heat were not the best team. The Heat were the AFC. They had just lost to Boston.
Yeah,
that
but they
year.
knew what
talking
they
about
were
before
doing
LeBron
because
was there?
Before LeBron went
But
there.
but they're
the point-
picking up Bosch simultaneously.
So,
you know
yeah.
what you're doing. They're
So
all friends.
Exactly,
They're like,
right?
oh,
So
we're
I
gonna
heard
meet
a
up on
Who did they-
take on
Tuesday.
this.
who did they-
So I heard a take on this the other day, right? So I'm watching the show, and their take on it was, and this is actually a good point of view, is that LeBron left Cleveland. You know, they did decent while he was there.
They won 2 rings.
but he left and wanted to go to a winning culture. Pat Riley. Do
Okay.
we need to give his resume, right? We know who Pat Riley is and who
I
he
know-
did
yeah,
for the
yeah, I
Lakers,
know
right?
Pat Riley is.
Dwayne Wade already won a championship.
Okay.
Right? Prior to LeBron getting there. LeBron wanted to go and learn how to win. He went to go learn how to win from Pat Riley and from Dwayne Wade. So, yeah, the Miami Heat got bounced out of the playoffs, yeah, but they knew how to win. LeBron didn't know how to do that yet. That's the reason why he couldn't get over those humps. And that's the reason why he went to Miami and pulled all those people with him.
I don't.
LeBron isn't LeBron who he is today if he does
Oh,
not
yeah.
go to Miami.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Period.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for
And
sure.
learn
I feel
how to
like
win from
I
fucking
feel
Pat
like
Riley.
I feel like anytime.
Yes, bro.
I feel like anytime you take a player who has not won and then put him over that hump, yes, I do not feel like LeBron's lack of winning was because he didn't know how to get over the hump. I feel like LeBron's lack of winning is just lack of talent. I just feel like it's crazy to say that LeBron was at a position to where he could have beat the San Antonio Spurs when he went to the finals. He could have beat the Celtics when he went to the conference finals. And he could have beat a really great role player oriented team with Dwight Howard surrounding nothing but shooters in him. I just feel like he had lack of talent.
And I agree with it. Yeah, he didn't have talent over there.
didn't have nowhere near as
But
much
regardless, I don't respect when you make that kind of move. I'm not saying it's the wrong thing to do. It's just my personal take on it.
I get you.
And I don't like it. Maybe it's because I'm old school in my sports and stuff like that. And now, all these
You want
mega
that
teams
loyalty.
I like that loyalty,
you.
man. I like that Jordan in the same place. Kobe in the same place.
I can't win. Let me go here.
Right.
Yeah,
Troy
yeah.
Aikman. Keep playing
Yeah, yeah.
till we can't get you no
Till the
more.
wheels fall off.
Yeah,
Let's-
exactly. So I
I
definitely
don't
see
know.
your
I
standpoint.
think LeBron's point of view on it was, and I respect it from like a player empowerment. I have more control over my career than you will ever have. So I think that was another reason why he went to Miami, is it was kind of like to make a statement, like, hey, because again, players were doing that, but it wasn't to that level. Or actually, I don't think people actually gave a shit about it until LeBron did it, right? Which is odd because people was doing that shit for the longest.
For
so,
sure.
you know, I see what your point is, but if you compare him to my GOAT, your GOAT is whack if you compare it to them. But from a sense, I think it was like more of like player empowerment, right? I want to have more power over my career than any of you can. I don't want you to trade me, and I see it on Sports Center in the middle of the night that I got traded to the fucking Nuggets.
For
Now
sure.
I understand.
agree with
Yeah,
that.
I understand.
You know what I mean?
I get
I agree
it,
with
but
that.
I just
I still think it's whack, but I just
feel like-
understand the point of view.
Okay. So watch this. I'll give you. So I got, and we had this conversation a lot. Dan Marino, amazing quarterback, right?
Great quarterback.
What's the asterisk among Dan Marino?
No championship.
He has no championship.
That's a major asterisk.
That's a major asterisk. So until we stop judging players on solely winning championships and not being logical, saying, hey, well, this guy has no chance of winning a championship, then you don't have that move.
So the only time, all the way up until LeBron all of a sudden got in the GOAT debate, the criteria for being the GOAT was based off how many championships you won. For forever.
So let me ask you a
in
question.
every sport.
Okay,
Because Jim Kelly was dope.
So hold up.
Hold on. Let me let you go, right?
Okay, you got it.
So Tom Brady is the GOAT. Why?
Because he has 6 championships.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right?
But
so
Aaron
now
Rodgers
all of a sudden, LeBron is considered a GOAT by some people for whatever reason being, but this man got 3 championships.
Okay.
Right? So how is he the exception to the rule, but everybody else is gonna get slighted in that conversation because LeBron went to 8 consecutive NBA finals? Like when does it stop? Because the people continue to change the rules for LeBron. And to be honest with you, that's bullshit. Because all the way up until LeBron in the GOAT conversation, bro, people was like, hey, you're the greatest player of all time based off your individual accolades and how many times you've won a championship with your team. I promise you it was. And it's always been that case.
Okay,
and then it suddenly changed.
Okay, so I got 2 players. If I've taken my team further in the playoffs than you, I've scored more points than you on higher efficiency. My pure efficiency rate is higher than yours, but you have 2 more championships than me.
It's because of the amount of times that you've
Hey,
been there.
why can't you be the Barry Sanders of basketball?
What do you mean? Barry Sanders he never won.
He never won, but no one's saying Barry Sanders is not the GOAT either.
And running back?
Yeah.
I've heard several scenarios where Barry Sanders is not the GOAT.
Because of him
I think
not
it's
winning?
hard
Because
for
of
the-
Emmitt
for-
Smith,
because
because
they
of-
don't dominate the position. They
Right.
don't dominate the ball in a sense. Like they have to get the ball.
Right.
So I think that's probably why.
But
he
you
might
understand
get-
what I'm
no,
saying here?
absolutely.
No, I
Like
get
Barry
it.
Sanders
I
is
get
like,
it.
yeah, he played with the Lions and he had no O-line. You see those
get
old
it.
plays, he's like 8 motherfuckers coming off and
By
missing
a
tackles and
lot
stuff.
of people consider Lawrence Taylor the best football player ever.
No, I'm just
We're
talking about his
talking about
position.
the- Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Running
yeah,
back.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
gotcha,
No,
gotcha,
I'm not
gotcha.
saying. I'm just
That's
saying
for
running
sure.
back.
Okay,
Barry
for sure.
Sanders is my GOAT,
Yeah.
and he never won. But no one's like Barry Sanders sucks because he
Right.
can never win a
No.
championship.
They don't say that he sucks. I'm not gonna say they're gonna say LeBron sucks, but he's not the undisputed GOAT because he does not have championships. There, like you said, Dan Marino.
So we going on
there's
record,
an
and you're
asterisk.
saying right now that LeBron's not what?
I still feel like LeBron's a GOAT. My
You just
response.
backtracked.
No, I didn't. No.
he tried.
He backtracked. You see
He
me
tried
trying to catch
it.
him
He
up in
tried
that?
it. He tried it. What I was saying was, I was saying that
Reel him in.
the thing is that, yeah, to Ohez, that's a weak move. But until Ohez stops saying, I'm solely gonna base you being the greatest on you taking the team, not taking, but you being on the championship winning team, then you don't have that move because LeBron already, what is he 2-3 MVPs in? He's already taken that team to the championship, and he had
Awesome.
no chance of.
Cool.
He had
Perfect.
no chance of
So
winning.
let me give you a shot, right? Let me give you a scenario. KD, he won 2 championships.
He
Correct?
won 2 championships.
Right. Say he never wins a championship again, right? He stays healthy the rest of his career. He plays for another 7 years. He goes down as a leading scorer all time in NBA. Is he considered one of the GOATs?
He's not gonna be.
Why not?
Because people are always going to say he took the weak move of going to Golden State.
But LeBron didn't.
Well, LeBron. Okay,
Here we
Oh,
go.
Now hold
Asterisk.
up.
Here comes the
Let's be clear.
hypocrisy.
That's not hypocrisy.
What are you talking
A
about,
team
bro?
went to the championship the previous year. You cannot sit here and say that's the same.
Who went-
That's the same.
Oh.
Yeah,
that's the same scenario. Are you serious?
It's
He's
different.
reaching.
It's different in that
He
sense.
is reaching.
And
different
see,
in that
I didn't like when KD did that either, though. But that's just
They
my
went
mentality.
to the championship.
That's my.
the
I didn't like when
previous
KD
year.
did it either.
They only
It's-
lost 9 games,
still, though,
and they get
he
the
still
second
moved.
best player ever. This man is reaching.
What do you mean?
That is a reach, bro. That is not the same thing.
Ever?
No, Kevin Durant was the second best player in the league at that point. He's an MVP, and I just went to the championship and lost 9 games. That is not the same thing as me being LeBron James going to AFC that just got knocked out by Boston with 2 other potential good players. That is a reach.
Okay.
That is a reach.
This has been a great segue.
Okay.
This has been a great segue. I definitely see everybody's points of view, but we got to get back to this episode 3 and 4. So my question to
Still
you,
on to episode 3.
are we going
going
to discuss the real Slim Shady?
What do you mean?
Isaiah Thomas.
That boy
I was
is
like,
terrible.
huh.
is
I was like, huh.
I can't stand
terrible.
this
What we
nigga's
got, bro?
hating.
What we got?
The
What we
thing
got?
is,
a hater,
I
bro.
hated when he lost and he walked off the court with time still on there. And not just he walked off, but he did this little head movement with it. Because I went back and watched it a couple of times. And he's like, you know what? I'm just not going to shake no hands. I'm going to get off this court. But no sportsmanship at all. And it's not just Jordan saying that. I feel like it's Bird, Magic Johnson, everything else. Yeah, man, he is very unpopular, and I didn't know how bad he actually was. Yeah, this
he
really
was.
exposed him a lot.
I'll go.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
ahead.
I'll go on it. I can agree in some sense that Isaiah Thomas is a hater, right? I feel like he has been making some hater moves. But I also can say I do agree with you as far as like the walking off the court being kind of disrespectful. But I can speak from an ultimate competitor standpoint, right? From the sense of competition. If me and you got war, right? We don't like each other. We're going back and forth. I beat you 3 years. You came up, you won. And then from the point, I'll just kind of go point for point when you said walking off. Yeah. So he said that his response was, you didn't see what Jordan was saying about us previously, right? He said he was talking bad about the city of Detroit. He said we were not good champions, right? We were dirty players. We didn't deserve to win the championship. So in a sense of making those statements as a competitor and you win and just like saying stuff like that, I probably wouldn't have been friendly after the game.
You feel like Jordan is being a hypocrite a little bit?
No, I don't feel like Jordan is being a hypocrite. I feel like because Jordan is the ultimate I got you, Dre. I feel like because Jordan is the ultimate like he basically was the winner in the scenario with the 6 championships. He's the picture of what greatness is.
He
A lot of
wasn't
the
at that
times.
point, though.
No, I'm saying like now. I'm saying like
okay,
now.
gotcha.
Perception is Jordan is the GOAT. We're a lot of times when we look at these documentaries and what we think about the Pistons, we're only looking at it from Jordan, the winner's perspective. We're not looking in the sense of, oh, I'm Isaiah Thomas. I won 2 championships. I did da-da-da. And now this person comes over and he just completely like takes that away from me. You know what I'm saying? What were you going to say, Jordan?
I'm saying, okay, Jordan could have said that, but the rest of the Bulls team and coaching staff did not say that.
Yeah.
And now you're sitting here and, I got to move off court while with time.
No,
still
it was
on the
weak.
clock.
It was
like
weak.
super,
It was
super
weak.
weak.
Super
It was
weak,
And
bro.
I mean, it's like that's the reason he didn't make the Olympic team.
Yeah.
They're saying Magic Johnson was the reason he didn't make the Olympic
Yeah.
team. That's not based off
Nah,
of skill.
a lot of
And the
people-
crazy
Because he
thing
was
about it is
skilled.
Chuck Daly was the coach of the Olympics team too. His head coach.
They said Chuck Daly didn't even want him to play.
No.
They said a lot of people he was just an unlikable guy.
No, he's just
But
a hater, bro.
I'll tell you one thing I do think. and
Isaiah
I do
Thomas looked like the type of dude that'll throw
Yeah.
shade on you to get a chick's number.
For sure.
Hater.
For sure. I'll say one thing I do like though, and that I don't, and it's crazy being a LeBron fan. I don't like the friendliness of the game today. I love the fact that even though it's how many years, like this was like 80s, even though it's so many years,
Like 30 years later, we still got a
they
grudge.
still don't like each other,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
They're still not like
I
cool.
like it in a sense because I think it actually held a lot of players back then.
Mm-hmm.
Because there could have been a lot of players who would have been a lot better if they played with the best people.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Like it's in essence like, man, KD really don't like me, but I really like to figure out how he do that step back, or James Harden. I have to figure out how
But
he
doesn't
do
that
step
hate
back.
also like go ahead and give you that fire to like, I'm going to go out here and give it everything I
know,
got
bro.
because I
Yeah, I know.
dislike him so much.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lose to him.
There's
I
some
love
players
that.
who just don't like each other, right?
Right.
Like I think 90% of the NBA don't like Pat Beverly. So,
Bro, I never played an
Even
NBA
though
game in
he's a
my
dog,
life,
he
and
don't
I don't like that game. I can't stand his
James,
ass.
oh my God, bro! You know, LeBron James and Pat Beverly just don't like each
No,
other
they don't
at
like
all.
But I definitely have to agree with Larry on this one, just because like I just see him like, oh, we're friends, like off
I don't
season,
like that.
off the court and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And I feel like you're just not as intense on the court. Like it carries
Right.
over just a
Yeah,
little bit.
for sure.
Like
Yeah.
I want you to be like a fan. Like
For
we
sure.
watch the Giants play or the Redskins play, we're like, I don't like none of y'all. Like I
Nah.
respect you, Barkley, but the rest of y'all, like,
I don't like none of y'all.
let it burn. You
Nah,
know,
I don't like none of y'all.
That's all my
I
attitude.
think
got-
that,
what you got, Chris?
I think most of the I think for the most part, players still liked each other back then, right? It wasn't as polarized as it is today because there's no social media, right? You're not gonna see Jordan having dinner with Charles Barkley, and there's no telling they probably had multiple dinners together.
For sure.
You know what
They
I
play
mean?
cards and
it's just
gamble,
not, it's just
yeah.
not polarized as it is today. So the perception is that these players just absolutely hated each other, right? No, the Bulls and the Pistons hated each other. Let's be very specific about that, right? I don't think, and they're talking about how Jordan hated those comparisons with him and Clyde Drexler, but they still might have been cool. Like LeBron would probably be pissed off if people compared him to KD.
That's the one thing I don't like about LeBron. That's the one thing I do not like about
You know,
LeBron.
he would probably
don't
hate
like
that
that.
if people compared him to
I don't-
KD.
I don't
But
like that at
there's
all.
not many players who compare each other that get compared, you know, as frequently as it was like back then. Like,
Yeah.
Like it's like nowadays, like over the last say 10 years, LeBron's the best player, right?
Yeah.
And you know they just more recently started putting Giannis in this conversation, right? And I don't think he deserves to be in that conversation
For sure.
But you know he's a great NBA player. Well, he's a good NBA player, right? It's yet to be seen if he's actually going to be a great, you know. But yeah.
So I'm gonna segue for us. Y'all good on this conversation?
solid
3
on
and
it, bro.
4.
We could talk about this shit all day.
I think I was gonna say that's the one thing I will say. Like I'll go back and like because I'm not gonna be biased to myself, right? I must say the one thing that I did see between the episodes and and that's reminded me what you just said that I do like about Jordan, that I actually love about Jordan. He don't mind giving you what you want to see. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's been a few cases, and when Dre called me out and was like, dude, you did say Jordan was GOAT at one point, and I did, because the thing about it is, bro, I like when, like, they're like, okay, Jordan's like, okay, you comparing me to this player? All right, let me go out and give him 40.
Right.
Let me drop him off real quick.
Let me change your mind.
When they were talking about Kukoc and how good he was, like,
Yeah.
oh, you about to give him this money,
Yeah.
a contract?
Let me shut him down.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
He scored
Let me
like
shut
2
him down.
points in the game. Like,
for sure,
for
sure. But you got LeBron just being this ultimate bigger person. Oh, I'm gonna be classy. I'm gonna da. In some cases,
is
bro,
I'm a big
I don't want
brother.
to see that. I don't want to see that, bro.
It's just a different, like LeBron, and this is why I have a lot of respect for him, and we can move on because again, we could talk about this all day.
Yeah.
It goes back to what I mentioned earlier: is that empowerment. LeBron is coming from the side of like, hey, fuck the NCAA. I'm trying to do this. I want players to empower themselves and empower their career. I want them to be their own business owners now versus waiting until you have to retire to really focus on being more business minded, like your Magic Johnsons, like your Michael Jordans. I want you to focus on that now. I want to empower you, little brother, to succeed and be as successful as you possibly can today versus the way they were doing it back in the early
That's real,
late
bro.
90s, right?
Yeah,
that's
that's
the reason
real,
why
yeah.
I think he's doing that. But I do understand, like, hey, let's hoop together. That type of shit is kind of
I don't
corny.
like that. Yeah, I don't like that.
But I
don't like
think
that,
he's
bro.
doing it. He's doing it from the point of view, like, hey, let me empower my brothers
Yeah, for
around
sure.
me
Boss.
and be a brother. In
He's
arms.
definitely the GOAT
That's
off the
boss and
court.
boss shit.
Oh,
He's-
yeah.
he's the
Yeah.
GOAT off the court by far. But I already know we can talk about LeBron Jordan comparison all the time. But it was a great 3 and 4. What you got for us right next?
We've been talking about this person's great, that person's not all that. So naturally, I got to ask, your NBA-wise, the most overrated and underrated player of all time.
You lead that.
Me?
Yeah.
I already know y'all ain't going to like this.
Lead
Give me the scoop, bro.
My
Give me the
number
scoop.
one overrated
Yeah.
is Carmelo.
Ooh.
Why?
Melo, all right, first off, let me get this out of the way because this is, if somebody has a problem, this is what it's going to be. Melo is one of the greatest scorers. Like, Melo go out there, chunk up 25, 30, no problem, right? Okay, cool. Now what? When we're putting in, everything, we're looking at Melo coming into the NBA right behind LeBron and what he's going to do, this and that. Outside of scoring, he's not that great. He's not that great of a leader. he's a terrible in defense. And once they get down by a few points, he's like, I'm just going to jog back down to the other side of the court. He didn't have the winner mentality. The boy was just like, if I can win this gold medal, I don't really need a championship.
You think he really thought that, though?
He said that publicly.
Oh, he did?
That's yeah. So
I think he was accepting the fact that he's never going to win a championship.
no, I don't want that.
That's how I was looking right now.
Until
That's
you
how I was looking right now.
Curtains for him.
Yeah.
man.
Once you say that, I'm just like, yeah, you can't be. I want my top players win at all costs. Okay, LeBron, I don't like that you moved to the Heat, but hey, you won, even though you had to make a change. And then towards the end, I mean, LeBron's still playing what top what? What are we gonna give LeBron right now as far as NBA wise?
We just want like where he ranks as far as
Currently,
top in the league.
yeah.
I say he's top 3. I say top 3 with based off of how the Lakers are playing right now. If it was last year, I put him in top 5.
What you got?
I got him at. I don't see how he's not number 1.
I thought you were big on Kawhi.
I do like Kawhi, right? I mean, I think. Well, we talking about right now.
Currently,
so Kawhi. So I think that when it comes time for the playoffs, Kawhi is going to be the best player, right?
Okay.
I think right now I'm not going to include. Well, okay, let's be real. Logically, I feel like LeBron, if he wants to turn it on, he's number 1 through 3. So I agree with him. Yeah. Right now in the regular season it's Giannis. So I think LeBron is still playing great basketball.
At elite level. Okay, so my point is, where's Carmelo right now?
Nowhere to be found.
Nowhere to be found. How many contracts did he get?
A lot.
Bro. So that's why I got him
Carmelo
overrated. He got 1 scoring title, 1. And who circled him? Kevin Durant with 5. And Kevin Durant could have got the 6th one. He only finished 70 points under him. And honestly, if Kevin Durant didn't want to be a team player, about 10 games before the season ended, he could have shot lights out and took his 6th scoring title. So that's why I'm kind of like, everyone puts Melo. Like, I like Melo with the hoodie. I like Melo with the hoodie on. But
the 2K version.
Yeah, and he's a great shooter, but that's all I got for him on that end of the court. And my most underrated player, and you know what? Y'all go overrated first. I'll get to underrated afterwards.
Gotcha. So I got a few players because this one's difficult because there's a lot of players that are overrated. A ton.
But you got to pick one.
Uh-huh.
You got to pick one.
Okay, cool.
All right.
My one overrated player, I'm going to go with Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin, most overrated player of all time. Right? Why? What has he done besides just get paid? The man has been racking up checks like
he had
other.
A great team with the Clippers too.
His squad was done.
No. I'm saying his squad was.
They had a phenomenal
amazing.
Squad,
yeah,
bro. He was getting all them lobs from Chris Paul.
That might have been one of the greatest teams never to win.
So Blake Griffin is like a poor man's Karl Malone, dead ass, right? And Chris Paul is not your boy John Stockton. So Blake Griffin is going to be my most overrated player of all time, and the reason why I'm making him the most overrated player of all time is because by the time his career is over, he's going to make by the time this current contract ends, he's going to be a total career $268 million. That will put him ahead of Dirk Nowitzki, ahead of Carmelo Anthony, and 20 million behind Shaq. Blake Griffin?
Yeah, but
the variable here is cap space. What?
But yeah, I was gonna say, but now we're talking like time and like the amount these people.
But
getting
still,
paid.
though, bro, he's still getting paid $30 million a year. That's a lot of money. He's not making an All-Star team.
Yeah, but these players were getting paid lower. I mean, no, I agree that Blake Griffin is overrated.
I'm talking
just
about
saying
total career
from a money
earnings,
perspective.
right?
Yeah, from a money
But the
perspective.
thing is, this is a generational thing.
Yeah,
Because Shaq,
that's what
on
I
the
was gonna say.
2001 team, Shaq was getting like great money. And that great
At
money
that
was
point.
19.2 million.
Yeah,
I
at
mean,
that
that's
point.
that's
Yeah,
great
so inflation,
money.
right?
Yeah.
So career earnings, Shaq had 286 million, right? But still, Blake Griffin ain't worth half of what he's getting paid right now. He's not, because he can't stay healthy, and he was getting hurt before he got this new contract.
Oh yeah,
So
for sure.
that's
He was
my
getting
issue.
he was getting hurt in the Clippers.
Again,
all the
I'm a
time.
strong believer, bro. It's your best ability is availability. If you
yeah.
cannot play the game, again, John Wall, he not playing. He just signed a massive contract with the Wizards a few years ago. He ain't playing.
Yeah,
That's a problem.
Yeah.
You know,
I still like
forget the
Wall.
cap space.
Low key,
He's
you know,
just
I
not-
still
You
like
said
Wall.
what?
I still like Wall, but I get
he's
it.
not,
Yeah.
he's not playing though. I think he's a great basketball player,
Yeah.
but he's not playing.
Right.
Right. You can't do anything for me if you're not playing.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
In D-Rose
that's
situation.
So yeah, that's who I'm gonna be if that's who I'm gonna pick if I'm picking the most overrated player of the last 20 years or so.
Lero, what you got?
So, I know a lot of people gonna hate me for this, man. I'm gonna have to go with the hometown not favorite for me, man. James Harden, bro. James Harden. James Harden is the most overrated player I have ever seen. I don't like his guts. I don't like his style of play. I don't like his mohawk. I don't like his fake teeth. I don't like anything about James Harden, right?
You're from Houston. You're gonna be so unpopular right now, bro.
I do not like him, and I'm just gonna say this, bro. The first thing that people want to throw back at you is stats, bro. And I feel like James Harden is a great example of how stats can give a different perception.
Tell a different story, right?
Of reality, bro. Because it's like at the end of the day, I do not understand how you're constantly in this MVP conversation. You're constantly in a race. You got an MVP. I don't understand how you choke so much in the playoffs and getting still Houston fans every year expect him to do something, bro. He's a proven choker. He's a cancer to his teammates. And I'll give you an example. Chris Paul was on the Rockets, right? Chris Paul is known as what? A floor general. He's a great floor general, right? Absolutely. So I get it. You can go back and forth with rotating them between point, right? James is going to be point. Chris is going to be point. James is more so a great scorer with the ability to facilitate. Chris Paul is more so a pass first, right? So if I'm James Harden and I'm in that offense, why am I going to be lazy on offense while Chris is facilitating offense? You just took away your second best player's ability. I can give you multiple occasions where he's gone against Golden State and he did not show up like he should have, right? But let's be realistic. We've already said that Golden State was the best team that we've seen in a long time, arguably the best team ever, right? Yep. So I do not expect him to win. I am not saying that. That would be blasphemous, right? They won the championship. But he disappears, right? even from the sense of when, and I got you, even from the sense of where, because I'm passionate about this.
I see that.
I'm passionate about it. From the sense of when Kevin Durant got hurt last year, bro. And I'll give you this variable. Kevin Durant got hurt. It was game 5. Kevin Durant got hurt. This guy at that point just came out. He's a reigning MVP. Mm-hmm. You got a whole quarter to win the game. You're the best player on the floor right now. Not only do you choke up, he takes 2 field goal attempts. How does the MVP averaging 32, 33, whatever ridiculous number it is, on however many shots in a regular season, take 2 field goal attempts when I'm the best player on the court and arguably the biggest game of this series when your best player goes out? Chris Paul outperformed him the year before, right? I don't see how that works. And again, it's just repeated occasions in the last game that we seen him in the playoffs. This guy comes back at halftime, right? Steph Curry gives him 33 and he loses on his home floor. How is he? I can't give him. I'm not even giving him top 5, bro. He's not, to me, he's not the top 5 player in the NBA. If we talking about performing when it counts, doing what we need the most, yeah, I get it. His stats show that he's good, but he disappears when you need him. So James Harden to me is the most overrated player, not right now, that I've ever seen in my life.
And low key, like, we're all Lakers fans, first and foremost. But living here, if the Lakers aren't going to win, I'm going to pull for the Rockets just because I live here, right? I want to see them win. Thing I dislike about Harden, when he loses, 2 hours later, where is he at?
He's at a strip club.
He's at the club. He's at the club. Now, I don't like that. I don't like my top players. I want basketball to be everything with passion. You. Yeah, I want you almost crying, after you lose and get bounced out like that.
He don't give a damn.
I don't feel I'm not respectable. Honestly, if he's on a Lakers squad, I'd be like, I could do without you. I'm good. Yeah.
At least if anything, bro, be a little bit smarter about the way you finesse that situation, right? Just don't get caught like that.
Don't go out that night.
Like that. Yeah, just don't get caught up like that.
Yeah, there's 300 other days
you
can do it.
It sends a wrong message as if I don't really give a fuck if we win or lose. I
got this shoe contract. I got money.
I got this nice ass money. I'm putting up 35, 36 points a game. I'm chilling. Yeah. I'm about to go out here and fuck with these honeys. That's basically what he's saying. You know what I mean? That's a little weak. Yeah, and I've heard multiple Houston fans complain about that, bro.
Yeah.
But you can't change it because you are who you are. He's not going to change.
No.
He's not going to start all of a sudden playing defense.
No.
And the Rockets will continue to be average.
But what did we say? What did we say that I found funny? Houston fan, this is what I said about stats. Houston fans will swear up and down James Harden is one of the generation's best post defenders we've ever seen based off of stats. Right?
That's crazy. That's some weirdo stats, man. Them nerd stats, the usage percentage and all that bullshit.
Guys just sitting behind a notebook.
Like, if you watch the game, you can clearly see
this
that
man
this
ain't playing no
defense, bro.
No.
Right? If he try really hard in the game, he might because he's a talented player. but he's not going to be averaging 35.
And I
36
hate the
points a
fake
game.
fouls too, bro.
I
the
hate
fake
it, bro.
fouls just throw
I
me off.
hate
Like
it.
that's why I don't watch soccer.
This is my point about the floor spacing, bro. He's shooting up shots. He coming down, dribble, shot, dribble, step back, travel, shot. For sure, right?
Bro,
Buddy can put the bucket in the ball in the hoop. But nah, I'm not a huge fan of that.
I'm not
And I'm not trying to be a hater, like just
No,
to hate.
I'm
But these
not
are
a
all
hater.
like just credible reasons. Like
Well, I
this
don't
is
like
why
him.
like, you're very dislikable.
Yeah, bro. It's like, I mean, legitimately, as soon as I say something about James Harden, bro, how many points is he scoring, dude? If you watch a game of James Harden, it's literally James Harden inbounding the ball. He's gonna dribble. He's gonna dribble. He's gonna dribble, and then he's gonna possibly either take a step back three. He's gonna either he's gonna get some screens. He's gonna penetrate the lane, and he's gonna force a teammate into a shot. It literally looks like me playing my player on 2K. All I'm trying to do is rack up my stats.
98 rating.
All I'm trying to do,
99 on this bitch, so I'm about to get
you know
this
what I'm
up.
saying? Like all he's trying to do is rack up, and it's just not fair, bro. It's just like I don't get it. And I didn't even mention the Spurs game where the guy loses about 40 with a Kawhi-less Spurs, bro. I don't know, dude.
Clutch
For
time,
me,
forget about
it's
it.
Done,
Yeah, he
bro.
will not take
it's
it
done.
to the promised
It's
land.
So
done.
we got our most overrated players. Who's your most underrated player of all time?
Underrated. I'll keep this quick just because it's not very entertaining. Tim Duncan. Everyone
said
knows
it's not
he's
very
great. He's not very entertaining. Bro, the reason Tim Duncan is not like in those almost GOAT conversations, I feel like, is because he was so basic. But he was so successful
His
with
style
it.
of play wasn't popular.
Right. And
Right? Yeah.
he's the opposite of James Harden. He's lame. Like, you listen to his interviews and stuff like that. He's like very square by the box, but the dude knew how to win.
That's all
5
that
chips.
matter,
Bro, he rookie of the year. I mean, his accolades are just out of this world. He was always on like first, second defensive team time after time. 2-time NBA MVP. Like, the dude is just super nice. He's legit. But he's just not exciting to watch play. It's more fundamentals and stuff like that. And I love it, man, because the Spurs were great with him. You know, they had a great system
man.
set up.
Phenomenal.
So, yeah, that's who I got.
I second that sentiment, right? It's really hard to not pick Tim Duncan as the most underrated player of basketball player of all time in our eyes. And again, so people understand our generation gap is the difference. We're doing people from like 1990 to 2000 until now, right? So that way some of the viewers and some of the listeners kind of understand our point of view on that. And why aren't we picking like, Moses Malone or somebody like that? Yeah. But underrated. And I took a different approach because I went with like the money, right? I go with like how much you're getting paid. I doubt Tim Duncan didn't have a good agent and his agent couldn't negotiate money.
Not that Scottie Pippen
No,
agent.
it's not the Scottie Pippen deal, right? Total earnings for his career. And then we can even limit it to a couple of players who were in the league around the same time he was. Total money for his career, Tim Duncan made about $236 million, averaged $12.5 million a year. The highest paid basketball player earnings all time is Kevin Garnett.
KG.
$334 million. Kevin Garnett almost made $100 million more than Tim Duncan? Yeah. What the fuck? What?
100 mil.
But
The
does
gap
that,
in that is crazy.
But does that have to do with like TV contracts?
No, bro, it ain't got
and
nothing to
things
do
like
with
that?
cap space.
Nothing?
No, they played in the league at the same time.
Yeah.
They getting drafted into the Hall of Fame at the same time. They retired the same year. It's
So
crazy.
Kevin Garnett made more than
Kevin Garnett
Kobe?
is the highest paid player, total earnings for the career of all time.
Wow.
$334 million. Kobe Bryant, $323, and he should get paid more than Tim Duncan. But you can argue that case a little bit.
I'm glad I got 3 of us here. I never knew that.
You can argue that
Learn
case a
something new
little
every
bit.
day.
LeBron James, 306. He shouldn't be paid more than LeBron, but you can still argue that. Shaq, 286. That's still debatable. These other people, there's no way in hell he should have got paid less than them. Chris Paul, the TV contract just got outrageous over the last 2-3 years.
Oh, yeah.
Dirk Nowitzki, great player, but he should have never been paid more than Tim Duncan and Carmelo Anthony. All those players made more than him, and KG is the biggest outlier. The fact that this man made $100 million more, like your agent is not $100 million better than my agent. It can't be.
Damn, that's crazy. That's a wild fact. I never knew that.
Yeah, bro. I got that information off of Spot Track. So shout out to that website because they give some good information on there, man.
That's dope.
And it's nuts.
Who you got, Lero?
I definitely feel like my underrated player is nowhere near as great as these players are. Right? Well, as great as Tim Duncan
got, like,
is.
Hall of
I
Famers,
kind of,
yeah.
my guy's not a Hall of Famer. I would say like right now I kind of went current minded, so I went into Bradley Beal. Like I just feel like Bradley got snubbed out of the All-Star game this year. I mean, I think it's 84 is the year since a player averaged at least 26 or 27 without making the All-Star game. So I definitely feel like Bradley's underrated. I feel like he is capable of being a leader. I think he's a great player, but I don't think he is nowhere nearly as underrated as Tim Duncan.
Some respect on that name.
Yeah,
But he's still, he's hooping though.
Yeah, he's still not. Hey, he's nice right now, bro.
He's averaging 30.5 this year. He averaged 30.5
and did make the All-Star game, bro.
It's nuts. Yeah, it's crazy. It's good though. Shout out to Bradley Beal, man. He's doing his work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some work, man. That's what a solid number 2 looks like. When your best player, technically, John Wall, is down, and I arguably think that Bradley Beal is probably the number 1 player on that team now. Since John Wall been out, that's how you play. That's how you put up some buckets.
Yeah, the boy's nice. The boy's
For sure.
absolutely nice. All right, we got one more big one. Y'all ready for this?
For sure. I'm excited about this one.
You excited? I think I'm gonna let you take over on this one because he's excited and like.
Yeah, so we
and
got
he has
this one kinda hit
some
home for
background
me.
on it. Yeah,
Absolutely. So we're doing a top 5 comedians of all time.
Top
right?
5.
Top 5, right?
top 5 Andre
So,
right here.
I wanted to give a shout out to my the family, my step pops.
Bob.
Old school cat, So his view on it is a little different than ours, but surprisingly, because he was a comedian for a while, and his view on it is different, but it's similar to ours in a sense. So actually was surprised by some of his picks. So I'm gonna go through, give the pick, and then give the reason why that individual is his pick. So his first one is gonna be Richard Pryor. He picked Richard Pryor because he said Richard Pryor showed the way and took all the risk as a comedian, which is a good point. His second was Eddie Murphy. He said Eddie Murphy created a new audience, both white and black, which is a good point for sure. His next is Robin Harris.
I definitely know
Robin
him,
Harris
yeah.
is the guy who was on Baby's
House Party.
Kids, a House Party, right? He said that he had classic lines, and he said he originally was supposed to be the host of Def Comedy Jam, but he died, and that's when Martin Lawrence stepped in, which is crazy because I did not know that. That's a crazy little.
That's a
fun
great fact. Yeah, that's an
a
interesting
crazy
fact.
fun fact. Bernie Mac, I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. He was original.
Yeah.
And then his last was Dave Chappelle. He said his TV show and all of that, his storytelling is really good, and he crossovers from a lot of ages, from like year 20 years old to like 70.
Right.
So that's why he picked those individuals, and those are some good ass points. And I didn't know that, again, that little fun fact about Robin Harris at all.
That's dope.
So I'll let y'all go ahead before I say mine.
Okay, so of course, love to Step Pops. I guess great minds think alike because me and Step Pops almost got the same list besides one person. So
Really?
So yeah, man. Surprisingly, so I got as far as like, well, of course the order is kind of changed, and I'll give you why the order is changed. But I got Eddie Murphy at 1, right? So I still got Eddie Murphy. I got Dave Chappelle, right? I won't even give order because I just want to. I won't even give order. I just want to compliment great people that do great work, right?
Yeah.
So I got Eddie Murphy, Dave Chappelle, Bernie Mac, Richard Pryor, right? Richard Pryor, if I do kind of give, Richard Pryor is on my list simply for being the creator.
Yeah,
right, you know what I'm saying?
nostalgic,
Yeah, it's kind of like how people do rap and Rakim.
For
I don't
sure.
listen to Rakim, but is Rakim respected? Yeah, because he paves the way for everybody else.
Yeah.
So that's the same respect I'll give him. Eddie Murphy is just amazing to me as far as movies. Like a lot of people always told me, man, you kind of look like Eddie Murphy. Like I always got that. He's funny. He's funny. He's a great actor, bro. He can play all the
'cause you're
roles.
black.
Yeah, for sure. He can play all the roles. Dave Chappelle, dude, I can't say enough about Dave Chappelle. One of my favorite comedians. We were talking about it earlier. Killing Them Softly was amazing. I worship the Chappelle Show. I own all the episodes on my phone. Like I grew up to the Chappelle Show. I used to get high to Half Baked. Like who didn't do that?
Yeah.
And then Bernie Mac was just amazingly funny as far as stand up. He's like when it comes to stand up, he's raw. He was on the Kings of Comedy. He used to kill everybody else. People waited on him. He's real slept on as far as acting, but I feel like his stand up just got him to where he made my list. The one person I didn't really get to experience Robin Harris, but I know he's funny. I know who he's referring to. But the one person I had to put on there was Chris Rock, bro. Chris Rock is funny to me. Like I really like I really like Chris Rock. I like his last little Netflix comedy, which was Tambourine or something like that. I think it was Tambourine. Yeah. That one was funny. I mean, Chris Rock is hilarious. I like Everybody Hates Chris. I feel like he definitely crossed over when you say different audiences. Chris Rock is definitely well like recognized, and I just feel like that's kind of to me like the golden era of like comedy. Like I feel like those to me are like just I think your pops definitely got something right there.
Laid the foundation.
Yeah,
absolutely.
What you guys, bro? I need some. I don't want you to have the same list though. I need some difference.
It's a little bit the same.
It's a little legends that we all.
Yeah. So number one was Richard Pryor, bro. I just remember like way back. We had it that live on the Sunset Strip.
Yeah, with the red suit.
Yeah, bro, it was so fire, and like even the way he ended it, because he was gotten into drugs, and I'll never forget. He lit that match, and he goes,
"This is
What's
Richard Pryor.
This is Richard Pryor on the street,
bro. I know that joke. That's crazy.
Like that shit is so great.
Yeah.
Number two, Eddie Murphy, man. Like he essentially like Richard Pryor like passed a torch, right? Essentially, and I remember this one bit. I forget if it was Raw or Delirious. He was calling Richard Pryor and Bill Cosby. Hey, like I'm cursing and like, and Bill Cosby's mad. No, don't do that. Keep it clean. And Richard Pryor told him,
I got you with the film.
Yeah, like that. Keep it. People laughing. Keep it going.
Nice.
Like it was great. And now we look at Bill Cosby and like, bro, you worried about cussing? Come on, bro. Number three, Dave Chappelle, man, Killing Him Softly came out like approximately 2000. I think I know that whole like stand up from beginning to end. Like I've watched it multiple times. When
Chip?
He's a white guy driving.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta race.
Hey, that boy said, "Excuse me." He talking to the cop. "Excuse me, I'm a little bit high right now." Where? What did he say? I forgot what street. He's like, "Where is such and such?" And the guy's like, "Hey there, buddy. You're
down.
on that street.
Calm down.
Yeah. That boy Chip was
Get
funny,
out of
bro.
here.
Yeah.
Like,
Get out of here.
Hey, I didn't know I couldn't do that.
Yes, bro.
I did know I could. That was a great one, man. And he just got the Mark Twain Award like a few days ago.
Oh, he
That's
did?
huge. Like,
Big award.
Wow, like big
That's awesome, bro.
award. So congratulations to Dave Chappelle out there. Now this is where we changed a little bit, man. Number four, one of my personal favorites, and where he gained a lot of notoriety was on the Chappelle show. Is a white guy named Bill Burr.
Bill Burr.
I've actually seen him here twice in Houston live. He never disappoints, bro. He is such an asshole, but it is hilarious.
Yeah.
He is like, he's awesome, man. He has a couple great stand-ups. Y'all haven't ever seen it, go watch Let It Go. You People Are All the Same. He's amazing.
What's he talking about? No, I'm just kidding.
He talks about he talks about black and white athletes, and like he's not scared but to touch any subjects. And one of his greats was George Carlin, kind of led the way before him probably, but Bill Burr, those two stand-ups, classic, same as Killing Him Softly essentially. And my number five, I'm a little brown, I'm Puerto Rican, I gotta throw them out there, they ain't on y'all's list. It's gonna be George Lopez and Fluffy, bro, the kings of the.
Those are two top fives.
Yeah, I got it. Like they're both dope. So
Yeah.
I'll put George Lopez
Like
my
an
number
honorable
5
mention,
because
yeah.
he was there, and then I'll put Fluffy number 6. But as far as
He's
like,
funny. Enrique,
bro, they're hilarious.
What's his name? Iglesias?
Enrique Iglesias? No, it's Iglesias. Gabriel Iglesias.
Enrique
I'm about to say-
Iglesias.
It's Gabriel Iglesias.
Yeah, there it is,
And
yeah.
he's just a funny guy. Like outside even stand up, like his stand ups hit. Like and it's fun because like the families can watch it too, and you can bring the kids in, which is awesome, right? But he's just a funny guy in general. So him and George Lopez, which George Lopez. Man, he owned like an era as far as like the Mexican community and everything, bro. And he started from like nowhere back in the day, and he would just have a notebook on stage, and he would have all these jokes written down. And when he would have the notebook and he had a pen, and he would tell a joke and everything, and no one laughs, off of it and tell the next joke until he got his material so good. I mean, he would pack every arena sold out like within
crazy.
5
Yeah,
minutes.
True,
Yeah. Since we didn't have much difference, y'all got any honorable mentions in there?
I didn't mention mine though.
You did.
No, I didn't.
No, he did. He did Bob's.
Oh, okay.
He did Bob's list.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought you was
And
agreeing.
which is great because Bob is old school. I remember when we went to his house. Bob
what I'm
has a
saying,
picture
bro.
with like all these
Yeah, all-
comedians
bro.
and stuff. I was
Shit's
very
fire. He got pictures
impressed.
of, like Bill Bellamy, like all of them.
Yeah.
guys, bro. That's funny because growing up, I used to see all the pictures all the time. And like, man, this is actually kind of dope. So mine, I'm again not in no specific order to kind of to your sentiment, Larry, is just just want to give respect to greatness when greatness is. So mine's Bernie Mac. That's unanimous all the way across the board, right? Bernie Mac is hilarious, dude. Like his stand-ups, like there are very few comedians. Like now we got the social media comedian, right?
Yeah.
It's cute. But let me see you motherfuckers stand in front of 100,000 people, 25,000 people and tell jokes for 2 hours or an hour and not get your ass booed off stage because you can't make an Instagram skit. You know what I mean? Like Dave Chappelle, wow. Dave Chappelle is amazing. You know, I
Goat walking among us, yes.
dude. So mine go a little different than y'all's on this, right? Because mine is more of like, hey, I'll be ignorant to say, hey, I sat here and listened to Richard Pryor. I'd be lying to you if I did, right?
Okay.
Because I didn't. I'm gonna go with Cat Williams. Cat Williams is
Cat Williams
funny.
shut it down
He had
for
a
a
run.
while.
Like for
Yeah.
a while, bro.
Him
Like
Chronicles
you can
run.
listen to him and listen to his stand up, phenomenal. I gotta give Kevin Hart his respect because again, the whole stand up thing is hard, right? And again, a lot of people paved the way for him. Like pretty much every person we mentioned paved the way for him, and he's catching the back end of a lot of this shit going on. But dude is funny. A lot of his stand ups are hilarious.
Yeah.
His most recent one was
Yeah, I agree with you.
But
His early ones were fire.
his first,
his early
like,
ones.
around like second, third, and fourth one, them shits are hilarious.
What I
dog.
love about Kevin Hart too is he'll put a joke at his own expense.
Oh, for sure.
Like
He don't mind.
just like
His
he doesn't
punchlines
mind at
are
all,
crazy.
and it's just so great.
Help
like yeah,
me. Help me. Nigga. Like that shit hilarious. And then
the facial expressions alone, bro.
for sure. And then I got Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy for me did the best job crossing comedy, stand up, and film. In TV. Like to me, he did the best job.
Coming to America,
Right, for
and-
sure,
yeah.
dude. Like Coming to America, like
Classics.
when I first watched it when I was a kid, it was funny. But then when you watch it as an adult, you're like, bro, this shit is hilarious.
It's still funny.
Bro,
Still
he's
funny.
they told him off the floor. He got there with the bucket going, bro. I don't even know like how you wrote half of this stuff, bro.
He walked into Mr. McDowell's office and was like, hey, you know, what is this game you're playing? I sound like a fucking Indian, but he's like, what is this game you're playing? You take a pigskin ball and you kick it through a big H.
Football.
He was like, oh, I love that game. That shit was hilarious, dog. And then my honorable mention is Corey Holcomb.
Corey Holcomb's
I don't
funny.
know if you've ever watched him.
I have never.
He don't give a shit, bro.
I love when he talks
Like-
about abortion.
Oh my
Man, that boy's funny.
I'm not gonna mention that because I'm gonna offend way too many people
Is this
on
a,
that.
is this a black guy, white guy?
It's a black dude, man.
Yeah, black
on
guy.
All-Star Shaq's All-Star Comedy.
Okay, I never heard
Jam,
of him. I'd
bro.
look him
Look
up.
up Corey Holcomb.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Oh, shit.
Hey,
That motherfucker is
I
funny.
don't agree with abortion, but it's funny. I'm sorry, guys.
The whole
Hey,
joke is
unapologetically.
hilarious, dude, right? Just the whole segue to the whole joke kind of keep you up is that he slept with a chick and he was he said a miracle happened. She had a miscarriage. He said the baby was in the toilet going like in the toilet going like this.
No.
Bro,
So
he
dark.
said-
And I was
Bro.
like, yo.
he said, bro, the funniest part to me was he said he had to walk in and he said he had to fake like he was crying. He was like, flush.
Oh, bro, it's so
Bro, that
messed
was
up. But the
hilarious.
joke
Oh
is
my God.
hilarious,
That
man.
boy said, my only premise
And
is
then-
that you find an
Oh
abortion
my
clinic
God.
with a pool table.
And then on the same joke, bro, in the same stand-up, he was talking about how he got another. I don't know if it was the same chick or he was talking about abortion. And he said this chick wanted to go get an abortion, right? And then she got back in the car and was like, "Hey, I don't like how you listen to all this rapping and this killing and all
What
that
said,
shit."
"Bitch,
He's
you
like,
the
"Bitch, you the only killer in the car." I was cracking up, bro.
He's nice, bro. He's nice. He's nice.
He's hilarious.
He's
Dre's
nice.
like,
He's
"Oh
nice.
my
God, he's
god."
with you, like,
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Probably won't wanna play
And it
this
was
around
funny too
anyway.
because he literally did that when he was on stand up. He was like, "Oh, y'all probably like, oh my goodness, who the fuck is he? Who is this mother?" Oh, bro, he's hilarious, dog. You definitely gotta check him out. You'll be forced to laugh because
He's
it's so
funny.
messed up.
It's
But
funny.
to be honest with you, it's honest. It's honest. So that's the reason why it's so funny because it's honest, right? And so yeah, that's my top five.
Ran into a dark
My
neighborhood
honorable-
there.
My honorable mention.
Yeah. Jeez.
Honorable mention.
Honorable mention.
It was
Fluffy was my
yeah,
honorable mention at that point. He didn't make my top 5. Like I wanted to include him, but I was like, okay, if I have to do an honorable, it would be Fluffy because I got George Lopez. He set the paveway for the Latin community, the Spanish community, and stuff like that. And then Fluffy just came after.
He's funny though, man.
Yeah,
I've seen his stand up on Netflix.
If you haven't
That
seen
dude
it,
was
then
funny
check
as
it
hell.
out.
For sure.
sure.
That's it though, huh, fellas?
Man, that's a wrap, man. I felt good about today, man.
sir.
We had some good topics.
Hope y'all like the
baby.
new setup. We changed things up
For
a little
sure.
bit for y'all.
Shout out my boy
One
Aaron.
time.
Aaron on the
Shout
camera,
out
real
Aaron.
MVP, standing
Aaron
around for
on
2
the
hours,
one
making sure
time.
we good.
Absolutely.
Once again, if you have any requests or we can talk about and stuff like that, well, as long as it's a good topic, man, we love to break it down and discuss it.
Absolutely,
It's actually
for sure.
a lot of fun for all of us
and
to
we'll
do it.
continue to give people shout outs, right? Always like, comment, subscribe. Again, we appreciate everybody's love, everybody's support worldwide. We love it.
That's pretty much it, man. I ain't got no shout outs from nobody.
Absolutely.
You'd be like, hi, mom, something, right? Nothing, you got
Absolutely,
nothing.
yeah. And we'll see y'all next week.
Take care. Later.
Bye.